Russ Clark with you, Mortgage Studios, live. Let's see, I'm a couple minutes late. I got, I was reading. I lost track of time. Good morning. I don't know where, maybe if Chris had showed up, he'd have woke me up. If he may be oversleeping today. I don't know. I haven't heard from him. All content presented in the Russ Clark Show, including statements made by guests, commentators, and callers, reflect the personal opinions of those individuals and is provided for information and entertainment purposes only. The views do not present the official position of Mortgage One Studios, its owners, employees, affiliates, or partners. Mortgage One Studios does not endorse, verify, or guarantee the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any statements made by third parties during programming. It's Thursday morning, and it's been a little warmer out. You guys are all used to that by now. We live in Yuma, Arizona. So I think it's on track with where it should be. Phone lines are open 928-941-0304. Let me catch up on some of the messages I obviously skipped. Some of the messages this morning, I didn't even see them. Let me see. My brother sent me something. See, Mike Doby writes me, I don't know if this was last night, yesterday, it's last night. Does the Republican Party exist in the state of California, even if these contenders for mayor and governor somehow seek by what's next? If the Republican Party has no, whatever, guts, California in this day and age is still ballot harvesting. It is true. Still has ballot problems. True. The Dems, and it's legal in California. Somehow they made it a law that we can cheat. We can ballot harvest. The Dems still have the majority in the state house and Senate and the Ninth Court. True. These Democrat contenders in the governor and mayor race are obviously saying nothing measured up to the obvious reality, and that they are still neck and neck with the conservative narrative. Are there any mentally ill idiots in that country? No. It's another voter fraud controlled race. Yeah, it's true. It's nothing. Refuse to do anything. Disgusting Republican. I don't know that that's true. I don't think they refuse to do anything, and I think in the mayor's race, he's an independent. He's not even a Republican. How is that the most? How is that the USA is the most superlative of global power via military and naval force, and second position and lighthearted behind, even with an active enemy with more subversive than even the USSR, KGB in the Cold War cannot even. He wrote this last night. Uh, Interesting. Goes on. Democratic. He said, eradicate the Democratic Party from Earth. No. It doesn't work that way. Not if we're a great country. You can't do that. That's a Russia thing, a communist thing. The country of California is held hostage and must be liberated. I completely agree, but you do that through voting, I guess. And I think they're doing a great job in California of getting attention. I think Pratt and others are just, Steve Hilton's just doing a great job. In fact, they're winning where it's not even possible to win. U.S. dollar was, in fact, backed by gold. $1 was $1 in gold, and it became illegal to own gold after a while, like 1940. Yeah, then I think it was Nixon. Was it Nixon took us off the gold standard? I guess Mike is suggesting we get back to gold standard. Wow, he covers about 100 topics here. I can't even read them all. There was a time in America where your relationship with your doctor was ironclad secret, and medical records were secret. Today, anyone can access it. I don't know if anyone can, but there has been some things getting out there. And I tell you, the security pretty tight in most hospitals. Okay. Well, Mike's opening up, pointing out some obvious problems, some frustrations, and everything else. But okay. And then Sandy always sends me a ton. I'm sorry, Sandy, I couldn't get to it all. Uh, Yesterday was my second anniversary, by the way. Yeah. 2 years. That wonderful lady put up with me for 2 years, and, we went to dinner last night. Uh, my favorite steakhouse in Yuma, Texas Roadhouse. Yeah. And of course, my daughter was there. She is cutting back on Texas Roadhouse. You know, she is working at, Precision Automotive with me, but, she's still, like, 1 day a week as a manager there, and we went in last night. And it's the first time we've been in a while because, she's been cutting back quite a bit, and we haven't gone out to eat very much. We eat at home mostly, so we don't go out, but, wonderful. Reminds me why I like their steaks at Texas Roadhouse. I mean, they do a great job. Now after my daughter leaves, I don't know. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll be fine, without her. I mean, she's only 1 day a week now. Okay, a few things I need to cover. Yes, I've been reading all morning. In fact, that's why I was 3 minutes late getting on air. I was still my nose in the books. A program that's going on in Arizona, the, Arizona Department of Health and Services, ADHS, has launched a "Look, Before You Lock" campaign. Look before you lock, and what that's all about is locking your vehicles. You see, we still have a problem in the nation, not just in Yuma, but Yuma is very hot, and we should be very careful, locking children inside cars and forgetting about them. This article says that since 1990, more than 1,000 children have died in hot cars nationwide. Unbelievable. We know it happens. It happens all the time. The U.S. Department of Transportation reports that about 37 children a year die from heat stroke after being left and becoming trapped in a vehicle. And that's according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. A horrific 37. And we're in that season now where it's hot. I'm sure they don't die from heat stroke in the winter. So they have some reminders and some things to do out there. I can't imagine the life changing that would be for a family and to have that happen to you, where you leave a child in the backseat of a car and you lose a child. It's got to be something else. Here's some ideas. Some things are trying to get you to make a routine. Get in the habit of checking the back seat of your car every time you park, whether your child's in there or not. Always be sure to look before you lock. I've left things in the car before. No, never a person in the car. Never. It just never happened, and I don't know how much that is associated with people that may have some other issues. People that are alcoholics or people that are on drugs or people that have tremendous problems in their life. I guess I'm trying to think of how someone could be that distracted. Put something in the back seat, something that you need when you get to your destination. Put your briefcase or satchel, whatever you got in the back seat, so you have to open up the door to open it up and say, "Oh no, I forgot. You're still in the back seat. I have to take you to the daycare." I guess. I guess never leave your child alone. And we do hear that occasionally when something bad happens to a child, that the parent will say, "Well, I just stopped to run in for just a minute." Yeah, I'm bad about that. I mean, I run in for a minute and stay for longer. Never with, well, once with a child in the car. I did. Yeah, my son. He was two or I mean second, not two, second grade. He was second grade, second or third grade, maybe second or third grade, and I picked him up from school in the. It was cool weather. It was a nice, beautiful day. I said I'd be about 10 minutes to go in and talk to somebody. Somebody I was getting to know, Ray Jensen with Automotive Parts Exchange. And he was big enough to get out, walk around, whatever. It was in a nice parking lot with some trees and stuff. But no, I was in there for a long time. He's still mad at me now, and he's 40. He's still, hey man, where were you? We had to go do things or something. Yeah, I know. Be sure to communicate. If you have a change in routine, such as your partner or parent dropping off a child in childcare, make sure you communicate, confirm uh, that the drop off was made, with each other, which makes sense. Family that's talking, that's good. Also, some technology that could remind you, set an alarm. I do that a lot on my phone for different things. Reminding to take a medication to remembering I have an appointment or something. I will set an alarm because I'll be reading or doing something and I'll get distracted. Consider technology that alerts drivers to check the back seat. I don't know if anything exists like that. Somebody's probably made that by now. Ask your babysitter or childcare provider to contact you if your child hasn't arrived as scheduled. I'm not going to do that. Um, have a babysitter contact me and said, "Mr. Clark, did you forget to drop off your child? We haven't seen you." I think they got enough to do looking for that, but pay attention to it. It's serious deals. Something during this time of year too. Pools. People with pools, very careful. Drownings in the backyard. They scare me to death. That scares me. The child in the car doesn't. I don't think I'm capable of doing that. Anybody's capable of leaving a child unattended for 5 minutes, 2 minutes in the backyard. Uh, if you're not paying attention, it could happen. And sometimes you put a slightly older kid in charge of that. Uh, Probably not a good idea. Yeah, probably not a good idea. Adult supervision and cameras and all kinds of things that go on with a pool. Pool's big responsibility because every year there's incidences every year, and they're just terrible, very sad. Uh, before I get into some countrywide stuff, another Yuma back to school rodeo. They've been doing this for a long time. These rodeo type stuff, backpack stuff, and supplying, helping kids with the essentials as they go back to school. Is it time for back to school? Well, didn't they just get out of school? Well, this is the 15th annual back to school, and I think this is by the city of Yuma. Saturday, July 11th, 9 to 12. And that's going to be at the Yuma Civic Center, which everybody knows where that is on Desert Hills Drive. The city of Yuma will distribute backpacks that include select school supplies to the first 2,000 students in kindergarten through 8th grade who attend. Backpacks are limited to one per child, and the child must be present to receive one. 25 nonprofit organizations will be present to provide free resources and information available to the community. In addition, the Yuma County Health Department will be offer school-age vaccines during the event. This year, we were able to purchase backpacks thanks to the generosity of sponsors. Children will even be able to choose the color of their backpack with a limited selection available on a first come, first served basis. City of Yuma Special Events Coordinator Brissa Garcia. We're proud that this event continues to receive strong support and enthusiasm from the public and our community partners. This year's presenting sponsors are APS, RAFI, Law Group, Arizona Complete Health, Yuma County Drug Coalition, KYMA, Channel 11, Telemundo 3, ABC 5, and major sponsors include State Farm, Kathy Nutzi. I haven't heard from her in a while. I haven't talked to Kathy. And Lamar. Great. Thank you guys for contributing and taking care of that. Mm. I don't know how many backpacks have been given out in Yuma in the last 20 years, but there's been a lot. Okay, another Yuma one before I move on. And this one kind of confuses me. Cooling technology tested in Yuma fields could help farmers beat extreme heat. I'm all for it. Anything to help farmers in extreme heat. It does get hot, and most of our agriculture, farming, I mean, as far as personnel in the field, is going to be in cooler weather, but extreme heat, they're still out there. University of Arizona Agricultural Research Station in Yuma, which has done wonderful work over the years. They're evaluating a large-scale evaporative cooling system. Now, evaporating cooling system is not new technology. That was been around since before air conditioners. We've had, before Freon, we've had evaporated cooling system. So some new design that incorporates it somehow out in the field, not inside a room, but out in a field. Atmo Cooling is the developer. Uses real-time monitoring to adjust temperatures and humidity levels throughout the day. Now, and they do this in the great outdoors. I need to see it. I don't know. And keep in mind, it uses water too. Um, at a time where, well, we have water, but we'll make sure we have great use of it. The goal is to help stabilize conditions for crops. Now, it's not about necessarily personnel. They're vulnerable to heat stress, like broccoli and cabbage. Paul Machik, CEO and founder of Atmo Cooling, says the technology is designed to give farmers more flexibility in when they and how they grow. I don't know how you put an evaporator cooler on a 20-acre plot. Says what we're going to show here is that we can bring temperature and humidity back to a range where we can we kind of grow what we want when we want here in Yuma. They say the system's intended to act as a protective buffer during extreme heat events, which become more frequent in the Southwest. High temperatures can cause crop bolting, reduce yields, shorten harvest windows. But unlike greenhouse, now we know greenhouse systems, they have coolers in those, fans, coolers, evaporating coolers and stuffs in greenhouses. Technology is designed for open field farming and works alongside existing agricultural equipment and irrigation methods. They say this allows farmers to adopt the system without major infrastructure overhauls. So somehow this must tie into the irrigation system somehow to be able to distribute the water. Evaporating coolings. You guys are familiar with those when you have misters or something in your backyard. Can reduce the temperature a lot and make the outdoors very, livable during the very hot days. Assuming there's no winds and you have a good system. I've been looking at them, evaporating cooling systems for the backyard. And they're fairly inexpensive until you get into the ones that require additional pressure, increase because the pressure coming out of your faucet may not give you the pressure that you're looking for to make it adequate for your needs. So they sell the systems that have a booster pump, which can dramatically change the amount of pressure that goes into the system. So I looked at the price of those things, and it went from like under $100 for some evaporating cooling to $1,500. Yeah, there you go. But then it's a real mist, and it's a real deal. I haven't pulled the trigger on anything like that yet, but it's interesting. Uh, I've seen them, and they're very effective. I can't imagine that doing that all over an entire farmer's field. It just seems out of reach. Um, a Hollywood guy. I don't know it. Rupert Everett. Rupert Everett. He's 67 years old now, and he's a movie star. He was in my best friend's wedding, and he says he ruined himself by trying to have the perfect physique. He wanted the leading man physique, muscular and lean and all that. So he says he he had many years of weightlifting, 1980s, 1990s, and now he's dealing with health issues. And I've been trying to reclaim some youthful moments by being in the gym a lot, which I think is successful. Losing weight and getting stronger and stuff like that. And I'm 68. I'm as old as this guy. Of course, I didn't spend it. I didn't do it in the 80s and 90s, and I'm not dealing with health issues over it. If anything, it's improved my health going. But I'm curious as to what And what he says, I could never be bothered to do the things like stretching in which they was necessary for lifting weights because your tendons get tighter and tighter. Stretching is important. So boring. I didn't do any of that. So now my demise will be muscular-skeletal. I think before Everett, hit the weights, he found another way to bulk up his appearances, though, and he confessed that. He's a British actor. Well, while he's busy in the gym ruining his body, he says, um, he confessed that he secretly wore custom-made bodysuits designed to make him look bigger, stronger, and more muscular. And even on the movie sets, So I wanna know, where do you get these bodysuits that make you look and I guess I'm shocked all at the same time. I mean, you mean Hollywood's not real? There's enhancements to Hollywood? Next thing you tell me, women are doing some of the same things. I I hope not. He says, I met these, 2 queens in Tufnell Park in North London who made bodysuits. 2 queens, he says. And they made me a false bottom, false calves, false shoulders, false everything. Yes, I wore them in everything. Well, see, he starts off saying he ruined his health because of that, and then he says he cheated. He didn't really have all those muscles. Wore a bodysuit to pretend he had those muscles. It'd be easier to do AI now, by the way. Just shoot it like your sloppy self, and then tell AI to enhance it to make you look muscular. I forget which politician did that recently. There was one recently that had a picture of himself, and he enhanced it with AI, made him look, like a superhero, and put a notation on there that might have been AI enhanced. It might have been. Shoot, man. Changed him dramatically, but I'd say going to the gym may be better. I mean, when you put your picture out there and that's what you look like, and people meet you in person, they're looking around still thinking that that can't be you because the guy I saw was different. Yeah. It's like a dating service. Yeah, they're all cheating and lying. Doesn't work out in the long run. So I don't know what this guy's problem is. He says weightlifting, but yet he cheated on top of it. It's Rupert Everett, unfortunately. So hopefully he gets healthy. He says it's tendons tightening up and what's that mobility thing. It's still not too late to stretch. You can still do that. In fact, you can go to a masseuse, um, Massage Envy in town here, and they will stretch you. And I don't know if you've ever been professionally like baseball players, football players, when they go in the gym, the trainers come in and they will stretch you and they will put your arms, legs, and everything in a position you think is gonna rip me apart. Yeah, I've had that done, and, but that can happen, and I guess it's healthy, to get stretched and to make sure you continue to stretch, and if you, can't do it yourself, do it like the pros and get a trainer to come in that knows what he's doing, and they can get him back in shape. So get a hold of this guy, Rupert, and say, "Go get a trainer, Rupert," and, they can still make you flexible because even at 67, it's not it's not the end of things. You're still making muscle, you're still making cells, you could still improve yourself. It's not a problem. Improve yourself, Rupert, and stop wearing those bodysuits. Be real. Sad story about, human death. I mentioned it the other day, but on June 1st, there was a body found, a victim, and I say victim, so obviously it was, they suspect that something suspicious happened, and cause of death. They're not saying right now. The Human County Sheriff's Office is asking for reports, but, the sheriff's office received a report that there was a dead female near South Adams Avenue and East Terrell Lane on, June 1st. Victim was unidentified for 2 days, not knowing who this person was. They do now. The victim's name is not, being, released, neither is the cause of death. We just know it was a lady that was 15 years old. They're asking anyone with additional information, contact the sheriff's office at 928 Well, this isn't a real phone number. It says 928-784472, but that's not enough digits. There's a digit missing. Or tips can be made to 78-CRIME or www.yumacountysheriff.org. It's remaining under investigation. They don't know. And it was in San Luis. If you don't know where that address, it's in San Luis, down south. Pink shorts, blue shirt, and braces. Black painted toenails. Black curly hair. A 15-year-old that is just sad way to start the day. I'm sorry about that, but it needs to happen. I'm going to Phoenix today. It's unusual, but my brother, now I'm a soft heart. My brother, who is a truck driver, and I mentioned him on the show before. He's a truck driver, and he works with Crete. He's an independent that owns his own truck. And as an independent, you're responsible for all the maintenance, the care, and all that kind of stuff. And that can be a surprise at times. I don't know if you've ever fixed anything on a vehicle. It's expensive. Well, try fixing it on a big truck. And he's had some unlucky turn of events. And he decided, it'd be best for me just to work for the company at this age. Now, he's younger than me. I think he's 63. So he's a young guy, 63. And he decided to go work for the company and less responsibility. I'll drive the truck. He's at that stage. He wants to drive. He thinks he'll be making more disciplined. Yeah, he'll get to drive the truck, and hopefully it doesn't break. Now, see, now it's not going to break anymore, and he doesn't have to pick up the tab on it. He just makes a phone call. So I'm going to go to he's going to turn the truck in at a place in Phoenix, and said he needs to be picked up maybe because he doesn't want to really rent a car. And I said, sure, I'll go up there. It only just destroys my whole day, but I don't care. I'll come get you. So I'm going to run up there and pick him up. After I get off here, I'm going to run over to to my shop, Precision Automotive, and I'll pick up the pickup truck because I don't want. I'm not going to take my Suzuki on the highway. It's got 95 horsepower. It does not travel well at higher speeds. It just doesn't. And it's just, I don't think it's good for it. I love the car around town. I love that little Suzuki to drive all over and off road. I mean, it's usually pretty dirty because I don't wash it enough, but I do like taking it. I like driving it around. It's a stick shift. And I like driving it because kids don't know how. They don't know how to drive stick shifts. Everything's automatic, so I can leave the keys in it. The kids can't even steal it. Let me see. There's this news came out a while ago about an albino buffalo. It's in Bangladesh, by the way. Well, you can't go see it. Well, the albino buffalo had some hair on its head that was reddish in color. It kind of looked like a Donald Trump hairdo, to tell you the truth. I mean, it did. It was kind of funny. So the farmer named the buffalo Donald Trump. Yeah. Which is hilarious all on its own. And I don't even think Donald Trump would mind that. He'd probably like that. He would probably endorse that buffalo. You don't know, as being a great buffalo, best buffalo ever, I would think. Not sure. Well, there's Chris this morning. It's your fault.
Did it again. What did I do this time?
Oh, I forgot to turn on the show at 6 o'clock, and I blamed you. That's okay. It's nice to have somebody to blame.
It does.
It took a lot of responsibility off.
Yeah, since the kids left, now my wife blames me for everything I do.
Of course. Why wouldn't she?
I did it again. I didn't turn on my alarm. I turn on my alarm every day, and for some reason,
I'd call you, but I know you don't keep your phone in the bedroom.
No, I don't. My wife would hear it and she'd smack me.
Well, I'll make it a point to call you, just for her enjoyment. We'll get that.
What are we talking about here?
A buffalo named Donald Trump. Did you hear about that?
Okay, no.
It's an albino buffalo.
Did he do it or did somebody else do
No,
it?
the farmer did. The farmer
Okay.
in Bangladesh
Okay.
called this.
Really?
Yeah, called this buffalo Donald Trump because it had the Donald Trump hairdo. And I've seen a picture of this buffalo, and it does look like Donald Trump.
Funny.
Well, that buffalo was sold and slated for slaughter.
A white buffalo? Somebody's gonna.
It was reddish, I guess, but they called it albino. Whatever, it was albino buffalo.
Really?
Wasn't totally white. It looked like Donald Trump.
Oh, okay.
Donald Trump style hairdo. Now the face was totally like Trump, only different completely.
Yeah, if you squint.
Yeah. Be drunk or something. I don't know. Well, it was slated for slaughter during Eid al-Adha, which is a Muslim feast of sacrifice.
Okay.
But government officials intervened and they saved this buffalo. They ordered the animal to be transferred to the National Zoo in the capital.
Really?
Yeah. And it attracted large crowds. So large crowds are coming to see the Donald Trump.
Because of the name or because it was a weird color?
Maybe both.
Okay.
But the name obviously attracted people because they put the name there. It's not that's not its official name. It's a nickname. I don't know what real name it is. I mean, I don't know if the buffalo is.
I don't know the difference for buffalo.
Yeah. So, but they later put up a sign that identified the animal as Donald Trump.
Huh.
And so there was lines to see this thing. A student who went and visited there, he said there is a resemblance to Donald Trump in the eyes, the hair, and skin color, according to Mohammed Nassim. That's what he told the Associated Press. And just as Donald Trump has a distinctive personality and lifestyle, this buffalo, after going viral, is now living a similar kind of life, enjoyed a lot of attention and special treatment.
Huh.
So it's getting pampered.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I said earlier, I think Donald Trump, if he knew about it, would say it's the most beautiful most beautiful buffalo ever.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Best buffalo to ever exist. Well, the zoo's creator was fired.
What?
Yeah. They took down the sign that said Donald Trump fired the curator, but they're not publicly disclosing the reason for it. I don't know. Maybe it was a progressive. Found out that we had a Donald Trump buffalo. Who's responsible for this buffalo?
Well, but typical Donald Trump. Then
he's getting he's getting harassed.
He's generating profit, and somebody out there hates it just because Donald Trump.
The progressive attorney general is probably going to have him investigated and arrested on trumped up charges. Then it'll really be a Donald Trump buffalo.
That's a crazy story.
That's insane. They fired the guy. Although they're not really saying why. It's none of your business. A local resident, Mohammed, I guess they're all named Mohammed, Adadine.
It's like Jose in Mexico.
He said, given a farm animal, the name of one of the world's most influential leaders was certainly the wrong thing to do. I think the farmer who did this made a poor decision.
I think the farmer who did this made a funny, silly decision.
I think it was brilliant.
But
I think it was brilliant.
The curator clearly had a great idea because
put up a sign. Let's get some business. People could come to the zoo. Financially, it was responsible, just like Donald Trump.
Yeah,
so he got fired.
Yeah, and that's they're like, what do you mean that we're making a profit this month?
So I think this perfectly aligns himself to Donald Trump, that buffalo. He's causing controversy just by being Donald Trump.
Exactly.
That's all you got to do.
That is hilarious.
I'm Donald Trump. Well, there's controversy.
That's a crazy story.
Yeah, it is. I like it. I kind of want to go to Bangladesh and see this thing.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't?
Yeah. Well, I do like going places I've never been. I've never
been to Buffalo that looks like Donald Trump.
No, I've never
in Bangladesh. So that would be that'd be on my wish list. No,
that's crazy.
I'm not going to pay for it. I got to find a sponsor.
Are they?
Anybody wants to send me to Bangladesh?
They're keeping the buffalo though, right?
So far,
okay.
I am worried about the buffalo's health. I mean, Donald Trump was an attempted assassination 3 times.
Yeah.
So I would assume that this buffalo probably better have some Secret Service protection.
Yeah.
Because being Donald Trump is very popular
and can be dangerous.
But Dangerous. Yeah. Very dangerous. That poor old buffalo. It was saved once, though.
Yeah.
Somebody saw fit to pull it out. I don't know. It doesn't give any indication on that government official that saved it if that government official's in trouble.
That's fun. That is just,
Donald Trump buffalo.
you can't make somebody could make that up, but that's not the kind of thing people generally make up. That's a crazy story.
I did name a dog once after my boss. I just come home and yell at that dog. Let's talk to Gilbert. Good morning, Gilbert.
Well, you don't have to worry about the cow because they don't eat meat in Bangladesh. Correct?
I don't know.
but they do have a slaughter for religious reasons for some reason. A sacrifice feast.
But they won't eat the meat. They won't kill it. No.
I don't know if Bangladesh.
I
don't know if Bangladesh does that or not. I mean, India does.
India does, but that's cows. Does the buffalo count as?
I don't know.
Yeah, cow. It's a cow. It's a cow.
I'm gonna have to find out. You bring up a good point. I'm gonna have to find out. I don't know. I don't know why they're slaughtering it if they're not eating it. But.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Russ, talk about what's happening tonight with the mayors and the city council out at the hospital.
What's happening?
Give us some information on that.
I don't have any, actually. Is that the debate? Are they doing the debate there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tonight. Yeah.
Oh,
tonight.
Okay. Yeah, I know that's I think it's a newspaper, The Sun and AWC or something, are putting that together.
And they didn't have you host it?
No. No, they try to go to nonpartisan on that. You know, they would think
I
would
be fair.
Of course, but they don't know that.
You can be. You're not.
They don't know that.
It's nonpartisan, right? Isn't it? It's supposed to be. But I believe Mr. Carlos Adams is going to be there.
Yeah,
with the mayor and the city council.
I'm not going to go.
How come?
Well,
you're the voice of Yuma.
Yeah, I don't find it that productive, actually. I don't. I mean, I've watched a lot of Carlos's stuff, and it's just a bunch of attack stuff on the Doug and all that. And I just don't really want to see that. But he's not even on the ballot. Carlos is on. He's a write-in, and
he's a write-in.
Yeah, I know.
Now we have 2 write-ins for city council.
I know. And the chances of a writing are pretty slim. And believe me, I support Derek Egbert 100%, and I hope he has a great opportunity. But when you have 3 that are actually on the ballot and 3 slots open, it's a low bar to make that. So somebody would have to get less than 50%. So that means 1,000 people walk in, 1,000 people get to vote for all 3 of them. They don't just vote for one; they vote for all 3.
Right.
So 1,000 people would have to say. Over half of the people that vote would have to say, I'm not going to vote for one person to get them less than 50%.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, it made it interesting.
Yeah.
Because when the original 3 that were on the ballot, it would have been easy. Okay, you all win.
Well,
because nobody was running against them. So they would all right?
That is the case. That is the case. But it's physically possible to have a write-in get more votes than somebody who's on.
Well, Don Shooter did it.
No, he did not.
He
did. Don Shooter was a write-in unopposed. He ran on the Republican side where there was 0 people.
Unopposed. Yeah.
He wasn't running against anybody until the general. Then he ran as a regular candidate in the general. Trying to beat in this where you're not on the ballot and you're a write-in, that is an uphill battle.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's ever done it in Yuma. I mean, a lot of people have gotten jobs by running as a write-in because no one else wanted the seat, or you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then you got this Pedro Osuna doing a lot of stuff lately. So, what's your take on him?
I haven't read a lot about him, and I'm not that interested.
It's the same. You know, I'm seeing the same. And to me, a lot of it's sensationalism.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes of fame. Now, I think Carlos it's not just 15 minutes of fame. I mean, I think he's a bright guy. I think he's interesting. I sat and talked to him for a while and all that, but as a write-in and we don't know a lot about him. We just know all his businesses are in Mexico, but he opened up one like a week ago in Yuma to be a businessman in Yuma. He never voted in his life. He registered to vote just so he could be a write-in candidate. He really doesn't understand a lot about the city of Yuma. In fact, all his businesses are in Mexico. Textile industry, some boxing industry stuff and stuff. So, I mean, he's a dynamic, hardworking guy. Walks around with a bodyguard, and he's interesting. I think he's smart, but I don't know enough about him to pull a trigger to put him on the ballot. I wouldn't. I just don't know enough about him.
I spoke to him in length, and I told him, not this time around.
Right.
Because you don't know much about Yuma at all. You don't know what it really works like. You can go around and talk to people, and you can hear the same general disappointments in the city, but there's more to Yuma than that. You got to know how the businesses work, and blah, 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 blah. And, like you said, he's very intelligent. He's a very intelligent man.
I think he's a good guy.
But I don't think this time around.
But I don't know with this guy coming in with this kind of money, this kind of stuff, coming in with bodyguards, coming in out of Mexico where he spends all his time in Mexico, and say he wants to be the mayor of Yuma. I just like,
I don't know how it came about his bodyguard, but I know I met the gentleman.
Yeah,
he's a big boy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But real nice guy. He's very mellow.
Yeah.
Even his voice is mellow.
Sure.
He's one of those big guys that have a mellow voice. You need to watch out for.
Yeah, those are the one you got to watch out for, Gilbert. You can't.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure he's a boxer too, because that's who Carlos is surrounding. And Carlos has been in 47 fights.
Yeah,
really?
I think it was 47, or he has 47 boxers working for him. I may got those two confused, but
he had 47 fights, and he's been across the United States.
Yeah,
it's not just been Mexico; it's across the United States.
No, and he's made quite a name for himself in Mexico, for sure. Yeah. But he's been in other places, and but all of a sudden to say he wants the job of Yuma mayor for $12,000 a year, I just don't get it. I don't get it. What's his deal?
And then again, who's behind him and some of the stuff?
I don't know. And his only rationale, and I talked to him, the only reason he wants to be mayor is because he doesn't like Doug. And
really?
No, and he's been on a lot of social media, beating him up, putting out a bunch of information that's wrong, and doing AI generated pictures and stuff that aren't real.
I know in our conversation, he never said he didn't like Doug. He said he doesn't like the way he's running the city.
Yeah.
He never said he didn't like Doug. Never said that.
Well,
those are two different things.
I make it as an inference to him. They don't like Doug's policies or whatever. I say don't like Doug, but it's
Well, that's different. That's different, Russ.
Well, I think totally when I see personal attacks like he's doing, I take it personally. I do.
Then what do they say about when you're in politics? They can say a lot of stuff about you, even though it's not true because it's politics.
Well,
you can't sue somebody. You can't sue somebody for what they said about you because it's politics, which I disagree.
Well, it's not true either. You can.
Yeah.
You can. As long as it's liable. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, but like I said, but it's quite interesting. I'm disappointed that you're not going to be there tonight, because for you to be there tonight, you could talk about it tomorrow firsthand instead of depending on somebody else to tell you what happened.
I'm going to have to depend on somebody else, because I'm going to be in Phoenix today. I'm taking off right after this.
No, that's right. You did say that. I thought you were going to Phoenix tomorrow.
No, today. Yeah, I'm leaving. Believe me, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're done that.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents for today.
All right, buddy.
It's quite this is the first time I've seen this type of behavior in people in the political world. I've never seen so many backstabbing, or not backstabbing, but just terrible things said about each other.
Yeah.
And if that goes along with the city council people that are running, the mayor.
Yeah.
Hell, I've never seen it. Anyway, my 2 cents. Catch you on the rebound.
Good points,
Later.
Gilbert. I appreciate the call. Thanks. Bye.
And
he did have some good points. And let's talk about that for a minute. There's been a lot of direct stuff in the politics right now, not just you, but in Yuma too. In Yuma,
Well, when Michelle Pena was running,
oh, it's terrible,
disgusting stuff.
And the voters responded by supporting Michelle Pena.
Yeah.
And they spent a ton of money to discredit her, to trash her, and I mean, it was embarrassing so much, And Michelle's not any of that, and I think a lot of that's happening to Doug right now from Carlos, and then Henry Valenzuela. Now, Henry Valenzuela has had a lot of negative things said about him, but they're all documented. I mean,
okay, they're factual. Okay.
At least the ones I know about.
Is he running for something in the city too?
He's running for city council.
Okay. I'm not.
He's
city,
one of
so
the.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
one.
know
He's one of the three.
What's going on there?
Yeah, and he was. He had a lot of, and a lot of it's online about his personal write-ups in the police force and stuff. When he was in the police, and accusations, or at least he was written up for not coming to work and then claiming he was at work. Getting paid, not going to the job.
Oh, really?
Oh, Henry talks about it when he was at the Republican meeting. He came in and says, that, well, I'm just being a victim. People are coming after me because I'm right and all that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I had a lot of time with Henry years ago when he was a police officer, and he used to come on the radio because he didn't like the administration then, because they were building the Pacific Avenue Athletic Complex. He said that they were cheating and taking money from other places, and they were stealing or something, and it's all illegal and all that. So that forced me to go downtown and pull records and talk to the city attorneys and to Greg and about, well, where's the money coming from and why are you doing it, and how do you have the statute to be able to do that? And it was all legitimate and above board. It was all out in the open.
Yeah.
But Henry wouldn't quit. Said, I have a calculator. I'm not a smart guy, but I have a calculator, and it doesn't add up. So he went on and on and on about it, and just trying to trash the administration.
Right.
And now running for city council, he doesn't like the mayor, and he makes that very clear. And he doesn't like the police chief, and he'd like them both gone. So he'll probably get in, I would guess.
He's going to, because there's 3 seats.
He's on there, and people don't know the background of who he is. And he comes across. I mean, he attends everything. I got to give him that. He goes to every meeting. And then he goes to the Republican meetings. He goes and he speaks.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I'm a victim, I'm not that guy, and all that kind of stuff. And he doesn't like the spaceport. He thinks, I didn't make much money early on. It was struggling. I know what it is to struggle, and people need money. They need better things spent. We shouldn't have a spaceport because they're going to spend all the money on the spaceport. Spaceport costs the city zero.
Right. And it generates income.
It's not going to be like farming, no. but there will be some. There'll be some jobs and some income
that come out with.
So he's against spaceport. He's against the data centers. He's against everything. And I just think, oh man, I don't mind different viewpoints, different like that, but I think Henry goes a bit far, and he has a history of it, all the way back to Pacific, Avenue Athletic Complex, which has been a huge success.
Right.
And there was nothing illegal.
Right.
If there was, he could have filed civil suits or something,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
There was never anything illegal.
How many?
So yes, and so Gilbert's right. There's been a lot of that stuff out there, but then look at, and I think Henry's brought a lot of that on himself by attacking others.
Right.
And I think Bass out there in LA has brought it on herself by being such an idiot governor, or mayor. I'm sorry, mayor. And she's attacking everybody that doesn't like it, that she's destroyed the city.
Right.
So yeah, there's been a great amount of it, and coming nationally, those that were pro Biden, as Biden was destroying our country, are saying that Trump's destroying our country. Yeah. I mean, that's the fallback. Blame, projected onto somebody else.
And I, it feels like it's pretty prominent now, but I think it's just because of the nature of our communication devices. We can hear everything over and over and over and over. We could get it instantly. Years ago, the best they could do is a poster or something. But
and propaganda is not new. About World War II and everything. But if you hear the same thing over and over again, like you're saying, it starts to become true.
Yeah.
I mean, look how many times they just trashed Trump on Russia connection.
Yeah.
I've never seen where it ever existed. In fact, intelligence community say it doesn't exist. Intelligence community says that the Steele dossier was a lie, and yet people out there still believe it. Right. And politicians are still pointing to it as factual. It's like there's no consciousness They don't care.
Right.
It was like Harry Reid years ago, who was attacking presidential candidate and saying that he didn't pay any taxes, knew he was lying. And then afterwards, when Mitt Romney lost, somebody asked him about it, says, all those things you said about Mitt Romney weren't true. Yes, but we won, didn't we?
Oh,
That was his comment. So it's continuing on. It's gotten, like Gilbert says, it's spooled up even more.
Yeah.
And it's become a way of life that even local politicians now in Yuma think that's the way to get ahead.
Is trash.
And we've got it going on now with right now at the mayor's race. I think Carlos is going over the top on trashing Doug.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, and that does seem to be a common tactic throughout politics. Is I don't have anything particular to say that's positive about me.
I have nothing to say about you positive except I love you coming in.
The other person. Yeah, when like you said, somebody that has no experience, they're just angry about the situation.
Yes.
They can't really say, this is my vision, this is what I want to do, because they have no real vision or thoughts about what they want to do. So all they can do is tear down their opponent.
I think that's a lot of the progressives right now.
Yeah, it's a lot.
What are you running for? Because Trump is bad.
Exactly. Yeah.
What else do you need to know?
Yeah.
That's and look who they're supporting in Maine.
I don't know anything.
Oh,
about
that is it Pratt? It's in Maine. That is
Pratt's
in LA.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Graham Plattner, not Pratt, but Graham Plattner, who's the Nazi guy's a Nazi symbol tattooed on his chest.
Yeah, okay.
Comes out with all this hateful rhetoric regularly.
Yeah.
Then they found out he sexted 6 women.
Right.
And they're finding things in his back. He's just an angry guy, and when he takes a stage, he's angry.
Right.
He wants to impeach Trump at all costs. And do all kinds of stuff.
I don't know how he has a platform.
He's leading the Democrat Party.
That's crazy
in Maine. I got some stories about him.
Gagos likes him, so that's enough.
Man,
I like him.
And they called Trump a Nazi for a long time.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous. And then they get a real Nazi, and he's okay.
Yeah,
he's all right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
that's insane.
We got a real Nazi here. He's got the tattoos.
Yeah.
But we're going to call Trump a Nazi. So there is hatefulness and stuff. We need to get through it. And it doesn't. I mean, look. They have trashed Trump, and he survived all of it because the truth survives. If the Russia connection,
not always, but yeah,
well, it can.
Yeah.
You're right. Not always. Sometimes you can. But he's tough enough to stand up and keep going. Some people would have collapsed under that weight, under that pressure.
That's true. That's true.
And he keeps going because the truth for him has saved him. But that doesn't mean that half the population believes the truth. They don't. Well, they think a lot of these lies are factual.
Well, and I don't know if the truth saved him, but his
tenacity on top of
tenacity, yeah, that's a great word for it. He clearly, because there's one thing that I think everybody can agree on is they get frustrated when the government isn't doing anything. And you knew he was going to do something
big time. Everything you said you wanted done, he's going to jump at it.
Whether you agree with it or not, you knew Trump was going to accomplish something. And I've been through that many times over the years too, where I don't even care what they do, just as long as they do something that moves us from where we are to something
better,
else.
Not something worse.
I don't even care if it's something worse.
You and I have a difference then, but yeah,
I would get so frustrated with stagnation. I said, just move anywhere. And then we can see what happens.
Biden moved somewhere. He opened up the borders.
Yeah.
That's something. You don't agree with that. Yeah.
And here's, and that opened up the door for Trump to say, hey, we got to close the door.
Yeah.
And so he came back.
So he was good for us. He lit everything on fire so Trump could come in with a hose.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
Maybe. Well, that's how we got Reagan. I think that we were so terrible that Reagan had a chance. And Reagan was a long shot.
Yeah,
because he was an outsider, all that same as Trump, movie star. He starred with a monkey, so you can't get worse than that.
And loved Reagan.
Yeah,
I didn't really know anything about politics, but I'll say it again and again and again. Just the feel of the country, just the vibe.
There was respect.
I mean,
respect. He wore a jacket in the Oval Office. He respected it, loved it. And unlike Clinton took off the jacket.
I don't know about that. There's a few things that were taken off. And
Yeah, that's
Clinton.
exactly right. The respect level was a different
Yeah.
different respect.
Yeah.
And he was so witty, so charming, hilariously
Yeah.
funny.
I loved Reagan.
And I like Trump. Trump's a lot like Reagan in some respects of being an outsider and all that.
Mhm.
Now, he's just a New Yorker, and New Yorkers are a little more direct to the point and a little caustic.
Can be.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll attack you. You know, you attack him, you better
yeah.
hold on because something's coming back your way, like
Yeah.
right now.
He's not subtle.
No, no, man. He's not Reagan in that respect.
No.
Reagan was a little more diplomatic. Although, look at Reagan. I mean, Trump's foreign policy, he is really well respected out there. I
It
mean,
is crazy how you did not expect that. Not only is he doing what he says he's going to do, I mean,
Yeah.
going to be effective here and here and here and here, but other countries,
praise him.
as much as people tear him down here, other countries are saying, yeah, Trump is fantastic. He's
Yeah.
doing these amazing
And I'm not
things.
talking about Canada because they hate him. Because he said enough with Canada. We're
Right.
giving you everything. You're taking advantage. There's not many in Europe for him saying like, you don't support NATO. You lean on us for everything. It's not going to happen.
Right.
But even Xi respects him for standing up.
You got to respect somebody.
Yeah. He said like, yeah, you caught me. Okay. I respect you for that.
Yeah.
And over in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Israel, they love him. Look, when he went to Saudi Arabia, they just threw out red carpets and singing. Oh no, that was China.
China.
All that kind of stuff. When Biden, or not Biden, but Obama went to China, there was nobody to greet him at the airport, at the airplane. They didn't even send him the stairs out. He had to get off on the airplane stairs in the back of the plane and come down that.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't send anybody to greet him. And Trump had thousands of singing children coming out with flags.
Right.
A total difference in that connection internationally. And I'm sure Xi's not real happy with like, you caught me, you're ruining my ability to rip you off. But I respect you for it.
Yeah.
It's the attitude I see.
I do see that. Yeah. One way or the other.
I think Putin respects me.
I
don't think he would have invaded Iran
respect for it.
if Biden went in office.
You mean
Ukraine? Yeah, Ukraine. I don't think so. That he would have done that. He was not afraid of Biden.
And nobody was afraid of Biden.
No, except Jill.
I don't. It's hard to say what's in Putin's mind because he's so.
I tell you, what his mind right now is surviving because he's afraid of his own people right now.
Well, he'd have to be, yeah.
Yeah, he's not.
You can't hide it.
He's living in the basement pretty much. And you see, he has those meetings where they have that 50-foot long table, and he's at one end, and everyone else is at the other end.
Yeah, you can't.
Man.
Yeah, no matter how much control you have over the communications, you can't hide the fact that so many people are dead. Yeah.
Oh, they
family
fall out
members,
windows,
friends.
all kinds of stuff.
Well, I mean, just from the war.
Well, that, yeah. I'm not. Oh, I thought you were talking about the generals that fall out windows and stuff like that.
Just from the war, people are going to war. They're dying. And their family members, friends, neighbors. They're like, well, what happened to so and so? You can control the
they're
media
not believing
all you want, but something's going to happen.
The Russia press anymore.
No, I don't know if they ever did, but yeah.
But if they didn't, they weren't saying much. They're saying more now.
Yeah,
people are starting to say more now. In fact, some of the state-owned media at times will say things.
I've noticed that,
and I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
are you safe now? Can you go home?
And it's crazy because he can stop at least that issue. I saw a thing a couple weeks ago. Putin is saying that the war might be able to end soon, as if it's not in his complete control. All he has to do is pull everybody back out, because Ukraine's not talking about getting anything from this. They just want you out. As soon as you just walk out, then there'll be some negotiations about, hey, you guys started it. Let's get some reparations or something going on. But the war can end immediately if he just pulls everyone out.
Yeah.
And so
But maybe he does. Maybe he does have complete control. I think he does, but he wants that illusion that it was not my decision.
Right. Yeah.
I think he was lied to. I mean, many. I say I think it. I'm listening to many commentators that are engaged in that, in this kind of thing, that says he was not getting the truth from his advisors. Like that he thought when he invaded Ukraine, like the rest of the world did, well, it's gonna be a pushover.
Oh, okay.
That kind of stuff. And they lied to him.
Uh-huh.
They didn't tell him the truth, and they lied to him.
They have to, because they can't admit that.
Well, you don't want to run up to him and give him bad news, apparently.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's currently in the war. And I saw a program on that the other day about what the generals are telling Putin about their offensive taking territory when actually they're losing territory.
Yeah.
But you can't go up and say I'm losing territory.
Yeah. Not when people fall out of windows so much.
Yeah, they do.
In Russia.
That's the retirement program.
And which is, just shows the I don't know, the hubris of arrogance of the human being throughout history. Dictators have whether they intended to or not, they've surrounded themselves with sycophants, because if they say something negative,
right,
he kills them.
So look at who Putin has surrounded himself with. They've surrounded himself with people, from everything I've read and listened to about people that know the situation, that agree with him and praise him.
Right.
Trump surrounded himself with brilliant billionaires.
Well, they aren't all billionaires.
No, not all, but many of them are, that are on the cabinet.
Right.
This cabinet is like, the superhero team. I mean, it's like the Avengers. They're really talented, and they're making a good salary. They're probably making a couple $100,000. These guys are used to making millions a year.
Right.
They're not doing this because they're building a resume.
Right.
They really want to make the country better. They're not doing this because they love Trump. I think they love the direction he's going in, that he wants to build America better. And they know what they're up against. They're up against a deep state that wants to keep status quo. Don't be too good. And I firmly believe that from all I've seen. I mean, that's what we see over and over again. He builds a ballroom for free, and people are going to oppose it. Just because
it's just too gold.
We don't want success.
It's too gold for my opinion.
Too much success.
Yeah, but
remember, Trump said, "You're going to get tired of winning. You're going to get so tired of winning. You're going to say, please, no more winning, no more winning." That's where we are.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, and I'll talk about that next. But Rubio had to.
That one.
Oh yeah, that one. Rubio had to go to the Congress and testify, because that's his job, Secretary of State. To talk about that, and he's very familiar. He was a senator forever. Rubio's been a long-term senator, so he knows about the committees and about going through committees and stuff like that. But we know that these committees are. You reading my notes?
No, I'm reading the headline. I can't read.
We know that these committees, a lot of times, are just political theater.
Yeah.
One side will come in and say, "Thanks for coming in. You're the most wonderful person that's ever done that job, and we just love you so much. If I told you that." And then the next one says, "You've destroyed the world. Why do you do what you do, you hateful man?"
Yeah.
And a lot of times they don't even ask, they get 5 minutes to ask, to do questions and answers.
Mm-hmm.
They'll do a 5-minute question and walk out.
Yep.
Yeah. The opposing team.
They're just trying to
make
a soundbite,
grandstand or something to make a soundbite. And Marco handles it real well, though. He takes it like it's a serious question and answer session.
As it should be.
Yeah, he takes it like that. Well, yes, watching some of it's kind of hilarious. Some of the highlights is hilarious. Representative Sarah Jacobs out of California, Democrat, questioned him about a pair of shoes he's received. Now, it really wasn't about the shoes, I think. She said, "Mr. Secretary, it seems like you have an issue admitting facts." It's not really a question.
Right.
Says, "You couldn't admit the shoes the president bought you were too big." And Rubio, according to the article, said, looked puzzled. Well, he did. I saw the clips. He looking like, I'm here to discuss like world issues, and stuff like that. He says, I don't know about the shoes. I mean, Trump gave me some Florsheim shoes that actually pretty good. They fit fine. I don't know what she's talking about. And so Sarah comes back and says, your shoes look very nice today, Mr. Secretary. So he says,
Okay.
well, how can you see them? They're way down here. We're talking about shoes. Are you guys kidding me? I mean, is this the Foreign Affairs Committee or is this like a circus? What is this? I love that response.
Yeah. Why
Like,
are you
look,
wasting my
let's get
time?
some serious stuff
Yeah.
going on here. It doesn't say this in the article, but that went on for 5 minutes, and Rubio's trying to answer, and she says, "I take back my time. You can't talk over me," and stuff like this. Which is normal for these aggressive guys, and Rubio says, "But look, Chairman, I've asked a question. I should answer it, and all that kind of stuff." And actually, Sarah Jacobs walks out.
Good.
And Rubio says, "Where are you going? I got an answer here for you." And she screams out, I couldn't hear it because she was off the mic by then. And he says, "Yeah, I understand. You don't want to hear it." And he gave the answer. Well, the next Republican to ask questions says, "Well, Mr. Secretary, I'd like to first hear your complete answer on the last question." And gives her the time to answer the stuff. But it is a joke in sense.
Yeah.
This is about political power and trying to win favor, and not about, I'm really interested in how things are working. Can you give me some insights?
Right. Well,
They don't really want that.
and you see that all the time when they try to bring up one of their talking points or something like that. But
Yeah.
but shoes? What
I
what was her
don't know.
goal asking about shoes?
Well, what Secretary Rubio said was that, look, you guys come in here with these talking points written by your staff that really mean nothing,
Right.
and just walk out.
Well, she got on the news.
Yeah, well,
You're talking about
I
her.
don't know if that's good.
Well, yeah.
I don't
no
know.
news.
A lot of
is
people
bad
get on the
news.
news and lose favor.
Yeah.
I don't know if she will. It depends on her constituents. Some of them will be saying, like, "Yeah, you were full of hate and terrible rhetoric. Good for you. I'm voting for you." I don't know.
What was that? No, the phrase is there's no such thing as bad press. Maybe she's hoping for it.
But they're senators. They should go in with at least some sense of,
Yeah, if I was a constituent, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be, what are you doing?
if you look at the history of the Senate and the country and all that, it was always set up to be very respectful, very much,
Right.
And yeah, would there be comments that were meant, which should be disguised or something? Sure.
They were the best at subtle, sneaky little insults. I love
much like John Kennedy out of Louisiana. Yeah, he's good at that.
Yeah, I love witty insults.
He can call you a jerk 10 ways to Sunday and never say the word. We're too lazy now.
That's the best. Yeah.
No, we're too lazy.
Yeah.
And it's disrespectful and all that. But it used to be like the gentleman from Kentucky.
Yeah.
And when you said the gentleman from Kentucky, that meant you really think he's a jerk.
Well, that's some of their general practice is to refer to people that way. But
sure. But now it's turned into fistfights in the circus.
Yeah.
More so, probably, I think. Representative Gregory Meeks out of New York, a Democrat out of New York, says, wanted to know about Trump's personal finance interests could have influenced decisions related to military action against Iran.
Okay. Legitimate question.
I think it's a ridiculous question.
Well, but that's a legitimate question.
But when you're president of the United States, you don't even have control of your financial interests. You turn them over.
Well, that doesn't mean you don't have control.
Yeah, it
it's
does.
Not official control.
Well,
it's supposed to be.
It's illegal for you to do something else, but
people
they do give it over
legally all the time. But whether you think it's he's actually it's a real concern or not, it is a legitimate question.
Well, that's a question like
the president.
That's a question like saying
you're not asking about his shoes.
Have you ever been caught beating your wife? That's like, how do you answer that?
Right.
Because it opens up like, oh my God, you hear he's beating his wife.
Right.
Stuff like, and that's what this was about, I think. But Rubio answered it. He says, not once, just to be clear, not one single time, not even for a millisecond, has a president ever discussed his personal economics in relations to war or any public policy that was made for that matter. And I've been to every one of those foreign policy meetings in the most part.
And that's
a great answer.
Yeah. And that's an answer that
it's
can be given to
it's meant to throw it out there as a discussion. Like, did you hear that? There's a question of whether Trump's using his personal influence to possess, to get richer.
Right.
or something, which is, but it was handled respectfully, I guess, by Rubio and all that. But it's still a dig.
Well,
It's not a real question as far as anything about the military, the troops or how long it's going to
well,
take.
but there's a difference between asking about his shoes. That's ridiculous.
No.
That is a ridiculous question. But asking about a thing that could be a problem if it was a different person. The president should not be making military decisions based on his own personal finance, and that is factual.
Um,
Presidents should not be doing that. So
Sure.
asking a question like that
Yeah.
is a legitimate question, even if you
Okay.
think it's trying to generate a
I-
soundbite.
I
That
get your point.
a
If
legitimate
that's happening,
question.
it's rigid.
Yeah.
But for Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, when you have him in there to ask him, I would think there's a better avenue to go
Well,
after that.
and,
But this is you just want to get attention to it.
Yeah, and they
'Cause-
knew that he was going to say no.
Yeah, I know.
He's not doing it.
So it's just
So
wasting.
the question was clearly trying to get it into the record and into the
Yeah.
public soundbite, but
But
technically
without
it is a
accusing him,
legitimate
because
question. Right.
because there is, I'm
No,
sure
I just
there's-
asked a question.
sure there's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's thinking that everyone in the military is going to go play golf now because we invaded Iraq, but I don't think that's true. Not going to go visit his golf course. Well, they continue pressing Rubio, but Rubio, he seemed to enjoy it. He wasn't getting. I mean, he was getting exasperated at times. Like, are we really talking about my shoes?
Right.
But he didn't seem to be, uneasy about anything. And I'm sure that's part of it, is trying to get him to get
Flustered.
crazy or flustered. Exactly. They kept pressing Rubio about Trump's finances, which Rubio's not going to have any knowledge about.
Right.
Yeah. So let's just do that. So then the news will be, Rubio wouldn't answer any of the financial questions about Trump. He's probably hiding something. He's not a financial partner.
No.
Nothing about allegations of corruption, which, again, you're just throwing it out there. Rubio complained that lawmakers were not allowing him enough time to answer, which he did regularly.
Right.
He says, look, let me answer. You guys are asking. I'm like, want to answer. They don't want him to answer.
Who was the chairman of the?
Don't
hearing?
remember. I mean, it would have been a
Because
Republican.
that has a huge. If it was Republican, I would think that they were.
Well, they
would be
can't.
giving him.
They can't force a guy to spend his 5 minutes on letting Rubio answer.
Mm.
Either you get 5 minutes. He's going to keep order so that you don't. Call him names.
But a lot of times, the other people on the panel, like that one Republican, will say, "Use my time, answer that question."
Yeah, he did. That's cool.
Yeah.
They're allowed to do that, I guess. Because there was no objection.
Yeah.
Ruby says, what kind of thing is this? What is this? You get asked questions for 5 minutes and you don't get to answer it. It's not a hearing. This is a dunk tank. What is this? Well, he's just stating the obvious, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
And for me, when people say, well, both sides do it. Both sides do it. And I
They
hear
do.
that stuff. Well, not. And I take objection to that a little bit, in that, like look at Mayorkas coming up to all the time to get questioned, because the border's open.
Right.
So the Republicans are all over it. Like, look, what do you mean the borders are all open? And he gives these ridiculous answers. I mean, they let him talk. They didn't cut him off. They didn't just give a 5-minute thing, but it was still contentious, because Mayorkas would say, everyone's registered. We're testing them all. Just a bunch of crap.
When somebody's saying something that just digs a hole for themselves,
But
let
nobody
them talk.
cared. The press didn't care. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
And Mayorkas has kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
He was Biden's patsy to say, okay, open up the borders, let everybody in, and then say they're safe. And they did that for 4 years.
All right.
We broke all kinds of records. I mean, more people coming in than ever and all that stuff.
And
we'll take years to clean it up.
Yeah. And it was just so quiet as they did it. They didn't bring any attention to it until Trump came in. I didn't realize the problem was as bad as it had become, because there's nobody talking about it, nobody bringing it up, nobody, everything. It was just flowing so smoothly. They had generated such a system to make it happen that until and people were starting to talk about it near the end there, and Trump, not Trump, Biden finally did that thing. Well, we're going to cap how many can come in a week or something like, and that did have an immediate effect. But then you started wondering, well, why didn't you do that before? If you could have done that instantly, why didn't you do that before? And then, because they didn't want to.
Yeah.
They wanted them to come in, and they kept it quiet until
But-
they couldn't keep
But they
it
don't
quiet
not
anymore.
honest with us. Like,
No.
look, here's our strategy. We need to open the border. We need more people in here. They don't say that.
Right.
They lie about it.
Yep.
And that's concerning to me. I mean, I just don't know. I don't like that at all. And I think most Americans get onto it eventually, but I still see the men in the street types questioning that thought that didn't happen under Biden. He had it under control. He was safe, and all that. I hear that and I'm like, what planet are
Right.
you on? And I guess I get to see a lot and read a lot, and I pay attention. Most people don't.
Right.
They're going to believe whatever they want to believe and whatever bumper sticker they see that goes by. Well, that bumper sticker said it was safe.
And so many people, because people have so much control over what they see these days, a lot of people don't see the news at all.
No.
They don't hear about any of it.
Well,
They're on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
And, it just, unless it's right up in their face, they don't notice
And
it
they think Trump's hateful because everybody says so.
because that's what they see on TikTok.
Yeah. I know. Questions from one of my listeners. Why would someone need a bodyguard? Seems a bit odd.
If
And I
he's
think
doing
that's I think
business-
that's sarcastic a little bit.
Oh, you think?
I mean, Trump has bodyguards. I mean, there are.
If you're doing business in Mexico, you probably need a bodyguard.
But I know a lot of people. Yeah,
Maybe not on this side of the border, but
and
absolutely.
I
on
think
that
that's
side.
exactly right.
Yeah.
It's his Mexican connection.
Yeah.
Not his United States. He has no footprint in the United States.
Well, and even if he did on this side of the border, I don't think he necessarily needs a bodyguard. But if he's going back and forth, it may be silly to have his bodyguard meet
This
me at
guy's
the
a
border.
boxer
Just
himself.
come
Who's
with
got to
me.
go up and grab him? I mean, I don't know. I just thought it was odd.
Yeah.
And the bodyguard guy actually works for him doing other things too.
Mhm.
But he admits that he's a bodyguard. We asked him.
Mhm. No, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. That's why I don't go to Mexico, because I don't have a bodyguard.
Yeah, you don't need one. I go in and get out. I go into the touristy places though, right on the border, and I get out.
I haven't been. to
Okay,
Mexico
according to
years.
Megyn Kelly. Now, as soon as you start off with a Megyn Kelly,
Uh-huh.
she's got some weird agendas. I love Megyn Kelly at times, but at times she's like, "What the hell?"
Right.
Trump has been unfaithful to every one of his wives. Now, was Megyn in the room?
She might have been
I
one
mean,
of the ones he was unfaithful. I don't know.
It could be true. It could not be true. But I'd rather hear it from the wife than from Megyn Kelly.
Yeah.
And all his wives still had a great relationship with Trump.
And it's irrelevant. We've had
So,
plenty
yeah.
of presidents that have been unfaithful to their spouses.
Some of them right in the Oval Office.
Yeah. Yeah.
but
So, no.
Megyn Kelly is not. I mean, there's times I really like her, and times I'm like, "What the heck are you doing?" Surprise MAGA and religious nuts are not more concerned about this moral character, hypocritical. And I like that he puts religious nuts,
Right.
like was that Christians are nuts, religious nuts.
A lot of
Is that
people
is
think
if you follow a faith, you're nuts?
that. Yeah, some people think that.
Probably.
Yeah.
And as far as MAGA goes, make America great again is what MAGA is.
Right.
Okay. Well, we want to make America great again, but Trump, did you do something improper with another lady when you were married or something like that? Of course, I'd want to hear it from the wife. I haven't.
Yeah.
Have you? I mean,
I haven't cared enough.
I haven't cared enough either.
But, no.
I mean, he doesn't make any bones.
It would be nice if you could expect your politicians to be
Perfect.
moral authorities.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
But we're human, and if that's what we're waiting for, we're not going to elect anybody. So,
And
so
this same guy talked about data centers, and I've been very pro data centers.
yeah,
But I also know that whatever comes to human, whatever we have, has to embrace certain things about power and about water and those kind of things.
and that's what somebody asked Biggs about that at the meeting the other day. And he said exactly what I believe. If they can build their power centers or whatever, they generate their own power. The water is, an issue to begin with because they need to get water, but then they recycle the water once they have it.
Right. It's a net water.
So
that we need to worry about. And we got to keep that on perspective as to every business is going to use water. Every household's going to use water.
Right.
But you can't have somebody.
They don't continuously use water.
And the biggest water users in Yuma County is all agriculture.
Yeah.
And it's well used.
Yeah.
It's where it should be.
Yeah.
The amount of vegetables they grow and the amount of care they take is so what? That's what they're supposed to do.
Right.
And they do that. But I'm not convinced these data centers are all bad.
I don't think so either.
But I don't mind asking the questions. In fact, I had Michael Cardone on yesterday.
Oh, did you?
He just visited the centers up in Mesa, asked a lot of questions, and I asked him about the power. Now, he was unaware that APS requested a rate increase for everybody
of like 14%.
But in the reasons for that was to build more infrastructure for data centers is the reason they needed to raise rates. And I said, why would the Corporation Commission approve that if the data centers are carrying their own weight? How do they get them to carry their own weight? If they went right to the Corporation Commission and said, we need to increase the infrastructure to support the data centers.
Right.
Because that's
what did he say?
He was unaware. So he's going to get back to me, and he will.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he says that he does it.
He'll do it. Yeah. And he'll tell the truth, whatever the truth is.
Was it already approved by the Corporation Commission?
I don't know.
Or did they request? I think it's just a request at the moment.
But the fact that APS would even put that in the request,
yeah,
shows that they weren't aware at the time of the sensitivity of people's look at the data center. Like, I don't want to pay double power so the data centers can live in Yuma.
Well, and I think that's why, like I said, when Biggs was asked the question, he specified if they're providing for their own power, then it's a good thing. So it sounds like it's becoming a political point.
It should be, and it should be discussed.
Oh, I don't know why it is though, because the other side, should be saying, agreeing if they can pay for their own power, we should not be providing the power for another company.
Well, and it doesn't say we're supplying the power. What the thing said was the infrastructure.
Yeah.
But like when you build a development in this town, you say, okay, I'm going to build 100 houses. You have to pay for all that infrastructure, all of it.
Yeah, I put when I was selling homes, I put a guy out in Welton who is like a mile away from and everything. He paid for the electricity to be strung out to his house. When I switched from propane to natural gas, I paid for the gas line to be drawn to my house.
You got to pay for all that. Now,
and if they're going to do that,
they need to pay for the infrastructure.
I do not agree with anybody increasing rates to provide infrastructure.
Right.
Yeah, that would be wrong.
Now for them now, and I want to hear their answers and hear the questions, asked. And I know Cohen will get up there, and I should call a corporation commissioner myself and talk to him,
right,
about that.
Because if it's still a request, then the corporation might be sitting there saying the same thing. No, that's ridiculous.
Now we need to do constant maintenance and constant upgrades to our infrastructure. There's no question. But this one specifically said we need it so we can handle vast amounts of power. That doesn't mean we're paying for their power. And look,
I'd like to. There's talk of them building those mini nuclear plants.
Yeah. Well, and Trump months ago put in, I think it was a executive order that these data centers, and I don't know what size, once they reach a certain level, they have to provide their own power.
Right.
Well, they should provide their own infrastructure too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not just their own power.
Speaking of which, my wife was reading a headline that they're tearing down the San Onofre nuclear. Have you heard about that?
I had heard it was scheduled to be torn down. That's been inoperative for years.
Oh, has it? I didn't know that.
The one in California.
Yeah. Right off.
Yeah, they shut it. They shut it down.
Oh, I did not know that.
Just like 3 Mile Island's been shut down, but it's still there, and they're reopening 3 Mile Island.
Good. Yeah, they should be.
But now I think I might have heard it was going to be torn down, but I think that has more to do with their aggressiveness towards green energy to make sure it never reopens.
Do you think?
That's what I think. I think they'd spend tons of money to make sure it never reopens.
Mm.
California likes to spend a lot of money to protect the planet.
Right.
That's the
planet's fine.
That's what they say, and it's so arrogant to think that California, can protect the whole planet.
But I was shocked that anyone would. I didn't know it was not running right now. I thought that it was generating power. I was like, why would they get rid of the power plant? But um, just from our the stories of our family, my mom years ago made a joke about because the shape of the two you know curved towers at San Onofre reminded her of Dolly Parton at one point, and she thought that was hilarious. And so that's there's a connection there with my family. We joke about that still to this day, about mom's joke about that. So I'll be sad to see that go, but no, I thought that it was a functioning power plant still. So I thought that was a big issue.
California's shot themselves in the foot regularly to high gas prices, high electrical, high all that, all in the name of green energy, which somebody's making money on. But keep in mind, when the government starts spending tons of money to hire constituents and people to analyze all that, believe me, they're hiring the friends to do all that stuff. These NGOs and stuff that are supporting Democrat candidates and all that. And they put all this behind green energy, which Trump is just trying to kill it all. It's just like it's been a joke.
Well, it's not. It doesn't have the results that people promise. Wind energy, I've always been had a problem with, because the weather system is so complicated. They talk about the butterfly effect. A butterfly flaps its wings in China, and you have hurricanes in Florida, something like that.
I don't know if that's true, but that's funny.
I don't know, but it is a complicated system. So taking energy out of that system seems reckless. You don't know what effect that's going to have. So you feel like, solar energy is fine because it's the heat from the sun and you're just moving it from this place to that place. But then it doesn't work. The hotter the panels get, the less effective they are. They get covered by dust, and you got to go out there and clean them all the time. If it's cloudy, you don't get anything. There's so many problems.
I think it's viable. I think I know people that are energy independent because of solar.
Yeah.
And they can do that.
Yeah, in your house. Yeah, that's one thing. But for the whole community.
Yeah, it becomes massive amounts of solar panels.
And then, all the rare earth minerals that are in those solar panels.
I don't even care about that, because we have so much rare earth available on this planet. They call it rare earth, but the thing that's funny is it's not rare.
Right.
It's just hard to extract.
But But when you
we got plenty of it.
When you scale it up to relying only on solar, then it becomes a lot. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to have a house that was reliant only on solar. I think that could be done easily now. We got the technology, the battery technology and all that. It would be expensive, but it's a one-time deal, and then you're set.
And then you're done.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about a bill from APS.
Well, and you got to go battery, because if you're not battery, if you're on the grid with your solar, you're still paying APS a fortune.
Yeah, I would like to be
all
off
their extra
I'd like to be
fees.
just to unplug the grid.
That would be great. Yeah.
Just take the meter out.
Yeah.
I just say, could you remove the meter? I don't need it.
Can I take a shot at it with my
And if things get really tough, I'll run an extension cord to the neighbor's house.
Oh, you don't do that already?
How do you know? They shouldn't put outside plugs.
Their fault.
Oh, Black Crows. You know who Black Crows, the band is. They had a mix up. The front man, Chris Robinson, just had a mix up at one of his concerts with the crowd.
Oh, really?
The Black Crows, it's been around since the 90s, 80s, 90s and stuff. They got really popular one time. So now they're old guys still doing the songs, and people love them because, it's nostalgia and it's who we are and all that stuff. And they've even made new records. They're on their 10th or 11th product and stuff like that. They've been disbanded, reunited stuff at times. You have internal fights and all that stuff. But anyway, their mascot, the picture of their mascot is a crow dressed in like an Uncle Sam type outfit. Well, when they were at this concert, singing a lot of music, people are happy and dancing and singing and stuff like that. They throw a copy of the mascot up on the projector screen there. And so the crowd starts yelling, USA, USA. Well, that angered Chris Robinson.
Really?
He's not patriotic. He said, "Thank you for the geography lesson. I don't know what you have to be so proud of right now."
Interesting.
Now, then the people started booing a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Like, why are you trashing USA? And he said, some of us has real faith. For those of you effing booing us, some of us are not afraid. And we almost surely are not blanking ignorant.
Hmm.
It's pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
Now, it says he can be heard saying it. I watched the video. Well, he could be heard saying it because he grabbed the mic very close to his mouth and screamed it. It wasn't like an off mic comment.
Right.
It was directed at the audience and all that. Now, months earlier, he was interviewed. He says he's not interested in talking political.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I am not interested in politics. I'm more interested in the poetry and art and people experience. But a song doesn't have to be like an overt political statement. I know what's right and wrong. And this blank going on right now is wrong.
Okay.
So he says, I'm not political, but what's going on is wrong. That's
Okay.
kind of a foot in political, I guess. He says, look, man, I'm almost 60 right now, all right? I don't tell anyone what to do because I don't like to be told what to do. But I know what's right and wrong. The world's teetering on the edge of all this BS. But if there's a street fighting man out there, he's got to be a young man, right? I don't know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
But these kids don't seem to give a blank. I get it. I guess their phone is their interest. I don't know, though. I still go to bookstores and read books, and all the lyrics on the album were written in pen. I'm a mid 20th century product. Rock and rollers are meant to be outsiders, weirdos and freaks. So I guess he fits.
Yeah.
But he's saying the young men should be fighting it and everything. But he's angry. He's angry at the government. He's angry at the audience for yelling USA and everything. I don't think it's good. Some people supported him. They says, yeah, he's been like that. I'm going to come back and see him do it again, type stuff.
And shouting USA doesn't necessarily mean you like everything that's going on. I would shout USA during the Biden administration because it's USA.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
the left sees that a little differently, though.
Yeah,
they're a little more.
And I'm okay. And it's his concert. If he wants to, say what's on his mind, that's your call. But
right.
I don't know if I'd ever stop somebody.
But you got to live with the repercussions. You may not have some of your fans coming back.
And it sounds like he's okay with living with
kind of like Springsteen.
Whatever.
You can take that viewpoint, but you may get some pushback.
Yeah. Well, the Dixie Chicks did that way back with Bush.
They still do, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I guess we're supposed to call them chicks now, but
are they chicks?
Yeah. The whole Me Too. No, not the Me Too. There was something about trying to erase our past, and Dixie.
Did they try to get rid of the chicks?
They call themselves the Chicks now.
Oh, they do. The Chicks.
Yeah, they changed their name.
They're not Dixie.
The Chicks.
Yeah, Dixie's too country, and they're definitely not supported by the Deep South.
Yeah, but I still call them the Dixie Chicks. I love the name.
Anyway. I liked them at one time too, but they got pretty stupid.
Well, they made one comment, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
Well, it's not that. It's just you don't back down. You yell about it, and you say, well, when interviewed, or if you don't agree with me, then you're wrong type attitude. You know, a chip on their shoulder.
Well, they did a song about it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they
I stopped listening.
And it's a great song too, but they were basically like, I believe what I believe. You don't want to believe what I believe.
Right.
That's your call.
That's what I mean. They got a chip on their shoulder. They're like,
I agree.
That's fine.
If you don't want to agree with
that's fine. And they still exist, but it's a much smaller form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got hit hard.
You say I'm still existing, a lot of people kicked off CNN are still existing. They're just, not eating at the nicer restaurants.
Well, life goes on. And that was, and that's how we got on this, taking the repercussions. The Dixie Chicks, they moved on.
Yeah.
They can, and that's fine.
And they want to live in that attitude. That's up to them.
That's their call. Yeah. And
I just won't buy them. I won't listen to them.
Oh, I still listen to them. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. This guy complained. He says you can't say anything without people needing to make it something shallower, making a soundbite. You can tell me, by the way, that I blanking ramble on, but I don't do sound bites too well. I find the same thing with music. There's nothing interesting in it. If it makes you feel better to consider yourself an artist, or if that's what you have to call it, good. I don't know. He just rambles.
Yeah.
Shouldn't concerts be a great place to? When people on X saying, "Well, shouldn't a concert just be a great place to escape the daily grind?" I think most people agree with that. But that's up to the artist, and you may go to an artist that says no, and then he's going to end up playing very small places.
And that's
that's okay.
That's their call.
Yeah. And, people pointing out stupid and all that kind of stuff. And it'll probably cost him some business.
I
And,
don't know.
but it costs you business if you're
Yeah.
Trump's friend too.
Yeah.
The 250th anniversary that's going on, Trump invited a lot of artists to come play. And some says, I'll never play where you're in, charge and all that kind of stuff. And that's up to them.
Right.
But many are going and
Yeah.
saying, look, I don't care who's president.
I'm going to sing.
I'm a United States guy.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of cancellation there too. A lot of people, if you're not in my camp, I can't support you. Unfortunately.
Well, and I know a lot of Republicans are anti Springsteen because of what he was saying and stuff. But at the meeting the other day, you were playing the Trump playlist.
Yeah, and
it had
Springsteen's on it.
Springsteen.
Yeah.
Born in the USA is a great song.
It is.
I don't care what side of the fence you're on. Great song.
Yeah, people ask me at a meeting, should I play that? And I'm like, well, Trump plays it. I don't know if he's canceled that. I don't know.
But it's a great song. It's a patriotic song. It lifts up everybody that hears it. I've never been one to care about the artists themselves.
But I think
I look at their product. If I like their product, I go with their
I
product.
think Springsteen's over the top lost his mind though.
Okay. But
Yeah.
I just don't listen to them.
He's
I don't
become
care.
that angry old guy that screams, "Get off my lawn!"
Well, he is an old guy.
Yeah, he's my age. I'm not screaming, "Get off my lawn!" No,
Yeah.
I haven't made that connection yet.
stepped over
One
that
day
line
though,
yet.
I'll be out there in that rocker. Get off my lawn, you young punk. My lawn's half dead. I don't care. Well, the Countdown to America 250 is coming up, which is kind of weird. I kind of like it.
Okay.
I was there for the 1776.
It's getting so close.
It is. It's coming up.
What's today? Today's the 4th.
Yeah.
It's a month
It's a month away.
Wow.
It's coming up quick. Well, the Yuma businesses are taking parts of it. There's 2 of them. Arizona Restaurant and Breweries, in part with the Arizona America 250 Commission, will host a special 250-hour event. 2 o'clock to almost 3 o'clock, 10 minutes of 3, 250.
250.
From 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and participating locations across the state will offer themed specials inspired by the nation's upcoming 250th birthday. The 2 in Yuma is Lutz Casino,
Okay.
which is going to offer a $2.50 domestic draft beverage,
All right.
which we need to do that just for the sake of the country, right? We need to
Making
support
America great
we need to
again.
support the country. Prison Hill Brewery will have its Liberty lockup meal for $17.76. Includes a classic American burger, fries, and a pint of jailbait blonde.
Huh.
We need to support both of them.
That's a decent deal, right?
We need to support both of them. Marcus
And they have
Carney's
good burgers.
Huh?
They have good burgers.
Oh, they do.
Oh yeah.
They do. Yeah, and there was a big brouhaha about Prison Hill Brewing when they had the transvestite show in the brewery
Oh really?
on a Sunday and invited families,
Ah.
like kids and stuff. And a lot of people in the community, and I was one of them, that said, that's not a good move.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that anywhere, but especially not in Yuma. That's not.
And I like the owner, Chris, and I haven't talked to him about that. Like, where'd you go wrong, Chris?
Well, they connected with the city of Yuma for the May the 4th event and provided burgers and stuff for that.
Yeah. No, I like him, and he works hard.
So,
He does a great job. He's got a great product, a great marketing scheme, and then
Yeah.
you spend money to market, you spend money to advertise, and then you put out the transvestite thing that just kind of undoes a lot of it. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I mean, were you trying to capture 1 to 2% of the population so that you
sounds
can make
like-
them happy at the expense of 50% that aren't going to like it?
It seems like one of those. It sounded like a good idea at the time.
Maybe. I don't think he's done it since. It's not his annual, transvestite get together book
Yeah.
reading or something.
Well, transvestite is different than the transgender.
Well, it might have been either
You're
one.
showing
I
your
don't know
age.
which one it
Yeah.
was. It was one of them.
Yeah.
I don't keep track of it's just part of that LGBTQ plus community.
I just call them the letters.
Okay, the letters, alphabet. Yeah, the alphabet people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of letters involved.
yeah. That was a
And
comedian.
even people within the letters, they're never, they debate how many letters should be listed.
Oh my gosh, it's never the same.
You don't have my letter in there.
I know. Which comedian is it that Dave Chappelle?
Uh-huh.
He talks openly about the alphabet
Oh,
people.
he talks openly.
He's
about
hilarious.
everything.
And he's not anti-alphabet people.
No.
He just thinks it's hilarious.
It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. And if it's funny, then you're a fair target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny is
And he
funny.
won't quit because he's an independent cuss, and he doesn't have to answer to a promoter like HBO or something.
Right.
Because he is independent, and he doesn't have somebody paying him a contingency fee. So he doesn't have his hands tied. He
Right.
can say what he wants. And honestly, he's a very respectful man as far as that kind of stuff, but he will make fun of you.
And I would love for him to make fun of me.
Yeah, I would too.
I would feel honored.
I think you got it coming. And if he doesn't, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Well, Marcus Carney, he's the executive director of Visit Yuma, said Yuma has a special place in patriotic America, right? Yuma loves the United States. Overall.
Yeah.
I think so.
We
got some old guys in here who say, get off my lawn, but
it's
all right.
an American lawn, so
there you go. Lutz, Mike Lutz, the manager of Lutz Casino, said there's only like 6 bars that signed up in the whole state of Arizona, and Yuma got 2 of them.
Wow.
So that's pretty nice. Does that mean that people aren't patriotic in Phoenix or what?
It sounds like people are missing a obvious marketing opportunity.
Now, I didn't understand this, and maybe you can explain it to me, but it says the celebration will culminate at 2:50 p.m. Now, I understand that.
Right.
With a coordinated statewide cheers to 250 years toast. So at 250, there's a cheers to 250 years. In Yuma, Visit Yuma will cover the cost of the commemorative round for participants. Does that mean that that Marcus is buying me a beer?
No, it means
the cost of the commemorative round.
Yeah,
Yuma will cover.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking that Yuma Visit Yuma, I guess, because they're the one that's writing this.
Doug's gonna.
I mean, did he tell you that Doug's going to cover it?
Sounds like it.
I don't think so. I think it's.
Like.
I think it's Visit Yuma.
Well,
I'm going to have to call Marcus and find out. Like, when are you buying me this beer?
At 250.
At 250.
Well, 245.
And you got 2 places. 2 places you can go.
Yeah.
You got Lutz Casino and Prison Hill Brewing. You can't be. I mean, they're close, but you can't make it in 1 minute back and. Can't drink a beer and in a minute be over the other one.
No, they are pretty close to each other.
So it depends on whether you want the jailbait blonde or a draft over at Lutz Casino. Either one, they'll probably take care of you. And they said there's a commemorative round.
That's interesting.
I mean,
I've never heard of that before. That's interesting.
I want to verify who's paying for it. Is that real? I guess you could call Chris over at Prison Hill. Say, tell me more about this commemorative round.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah, if the city of Yuma is paying for people to have an alcoholic beverage.
Well, Visit Yuma is not a city of Yuma.
Oh, they're not.
They're separate.
Oh, okay. Well, then,
now they do get money from. They get a budget. They to promote from the city, but they're not really a city-run organization.
Okay, they're like a marketing organization.
Yeah, separate that gets support though.
Great, go for it then.
Comes out of that 2% fund a little bit.
I think that's a cool idea.
All right. Then we'll have to have a beer. Which one are we going to?
I'm not a beer fan.
I am. Now,
I like Modelo.
Okay.
Modelo's cool.
Better than Bud Light.
Corona. I'll drink Bud Light if that's what's around.
I can't since that whole mix up.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't drink it.
I don't care.
Well, most people don't. And when they were giving Bud Light away, giving it away, people says, it's not that bad. Give me a case. Trying to get their name back out there, because they really screwed up marketing wise. A little article. There's a doctor, Irfan Fazil.
Okay.
And he works here in Yuma. And he's in county jail right now on bond of $50 million bond.
Wow.
$50 million? I'd be honored to get a $50 million bond. I must be a really bad man to get a $50 million bond. $50 million. I'm thinking, like, who did you bury, man? I mean, I don't know. Well, here's the charges he's facing, and I know specifics: theft from a building or control of property,
Uh-huh.
illegal control of an enterprise, fraudulent schemes.
I'm hearing Medicare fraud.
Oh, maybe.
That's what I'm thinking. I heard about this last night.
Of course, this is all guessing because we don't know.
Yeah, it's speculation.
It's not.
Absolutely
It's not here,
speculation.
but
And
we know
allegedly.
when you
We gotta
allegedly and
throw
all that.
in.
But when the county says $50 million bond,
Yeah.
they're like really serious that you may be a flight risk or something.
Which means you got some cash on hand somewhere.
Somebody's taking it out. Yeah, the Attorney General's office says the action was taken as part of an ongoing investigation by the Arizona Attorney General's office.
And
Doc-
then
Dr.
this is right
Fazl's
here in Yuma.
yeah, in Yuma.
Yeah, that Foothills hospital.
Yeah,
for by the
biotech or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which I know, so that's where Dr. Joe works
I don't know him.
at Biofamily Clinic.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Joe's the one that used to come in on every Tuesday and loved the guy. He was not arrested.
Make that clear.
And I know Dr. Joe, and I
Uh-huh.
don't, I could not imagine him ever do anything like this.
Right.
I mean, he's a straight up guy.
Well, we don't know what this guy did, but
I don't know. I don't know what he
if
did.
he did anything, technically, he's innocent until proven
If I
guilty.
read that Dr. Joe was had a bond for $50 million, I would go down and tell him, I'd
You're
love to
wrong.
help you out, but I don't have that kind of cash. And, I hope you're okay. I hope you're good. But Biofamily Clinic,
Yeah.
which has been blockbusters successful.
Has it?
Oh man, they have grown so huge, built
Huh.
buildings, all kinds of stuff.
It's it's a little gaudy,
Yeah, I like it.
all the you're coming across on the interstate and all of a sudden pop, 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 you're
Yeah,
getting
all
popped
the
up
all of the
lights,
stuff.
the
Yeah, you
colors
can't
and
help but
stuff.
notice it, man.
Yeah.
It's like
But
there's showgirls out front dancing, and stuff like that.
I just question the why did we need that? YMC has been serving
That's
what
a-
is it
that's a-
on Vita,
That's an owner's prerogative, man.
Yeah.
They could
and
do
then
it.
there's another one.
I'm
over
thinking
on
about doing that to my
Fairview.
building, actually.
Yeah,
Put some neon outside,
yeah.
pop it up.
Your building's very subtle. It's that light blue.
It
and
is.
You could.
I have to get
go
away from
right
subtle.
past them. Yeah. Well,
Now,
but
did you
guys
see
were-
the billboard
You
on the
guys were
bill?
busy though, so
We're very busy.
I don't think you need to worry about
Did
it.
you see the billboard that Chris put up? Chris
No.
Moorhead. It just has a question: is your wife hot?
Yes.
Is your wife hot?
I love that commercial. I
Let us
did
check
see
her
that
air
ad.
conditioning.
I did see that. That cracked me up.
We've had people come in because of that.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, we have them
Yeah.
come in. They say, "Yeah,
That cracked me up.
Don't take that down.
I love creative, witty.
is
billboards
your
and stuff.
wife hot?" We'll check your air conditioning for you.
I love that.
That's good.
FanQuest had a radio commercial years ago. Are you tired of beating your kids at the same games over and over again? Come on in. Just I heard that. I just
tired of beating your kids.
I
man.
almost,
I
I
like it.
almost crashed living. It was so fun.
I like it. I don't know what's going to go up on the billboard next, but he's going to have to top that one.
You got to keep that up for a while because that's a good one.
Is your wife
Yeah.
hot? and it's free. You can have it checked for free.
Okay.
Say, well, your wife's hot and it has nothing to do with air conditioning. We checked it.
Well, you could check mine and as soon as you turn it on.
Do you have air conditioning working in
Nope.
that truck?
No, I haven't.
I said,
for
that truck
years.
looks like nothing works.
No, the radio is fine.
Radio works?
There ain't nothing wrong with the radio.
I know it runs. You got here.
It runs just fine. I am completely confident with it. I just can't look through on my side view and
Well, it looks like you won a demolition derby with it.
I'm winning.
Does that give it
something.
character?
That does.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then
I've-
you've won. You won
Yeah.
the character race. Spencer Pratt, they've done more to, and he's the one in L.A. that's
Yeah.
running for the mayor's race. Gets national attention, and he's an independent, according to
Technically, yeah. Yeah.
What I read,
he's registered Republican, but he's not on the Republican ticket. He's running independent.
Well, this is a nonpartisan anyway. But
Yeah.
when you see the boards putting up that who's got what, and it'll list Bass as a Democrat,
Yeah.
and that other lady as a
A
Democrat,
But
and then he's an I.
Yeah.
And they say, well, this Republican. Well, he's not even
he's not.
not running as Republican. I don't know. I don't know what his party affiliation is, but he's not.
No, he's registered Republican,
He is?
running independent. Yeah.
Well, this does say
And
he's a registered
coming in.
Republican.
He's coming up. He's looking like he's.
Why'd they put an
second.
eye on the?
He's running independent,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
but he's registered Republican.
I love some of his comments about, Trump endorsement. He says, what I really want to do is just, I don't really want any endorsements. I don't think they help me. I just want to, take care of the people. He's hilariously good at what he's doing.
And it's interesting because he got famous on some reality TV show,
Yeah.
The Hills, or and was the bad guy.
That's what I
and
understand.
everyone
I've never
hated
seen
him.
it.
I never have either, but his name started popping up.
I didn't
in
even know he's famous.
And he had like 15 minutes, like exactly 15 minutes, because you never heard from him again until he pops up for this, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
Didn't everyone hate him? Wasn't he
Right.
the butt
He's
of
a
every
straight
joke?
talking son of a gun.
Yeah.
And I know that you got AIs working overtime trying to find dirt on him.
Oh, I'm sure.
Everybody that's a Democrat in California is looking
But he's on camera, so
yeah.
yeah. But I did see a little bit about it, and he was saying, Bass, has been ineffective, and because his house burned down in that Palisades fire.
Yeah. Can't get a permit to rebuild.
And he was mad that he couldn't rebuild his house, and so that's why that sparked him running for office. And so he's saying all these factual things about Bass.
Yeah.
And so she puts out an ad that says mistakes were made.
Yeah. Right.
That's what you're saying to try to encourage people.
But
to
I'm the
vote
one that
for
can
you?
fix it. And she claims.
Yeah.
In fact, she puts on her website. Here's her website. Los Angeles is at a turning point. After decades of rising homelessness, underbuilt housing, and a shrinking police force, it's Mayor Karen Bass who finally stepped up to change how City Hall works. That's her website. What does it mean?
But you got history.
It don't mean
saying you didn't.
anything.
Yeah.
Well, there is a chart I saw that showed that homelessness dropped in the last 2 years, like slightly. Now it was growing rapidly and then dropped
Mhm.
slightly last 2 years. And it was explained by somebody that the way she achieved that is you no longer are counted as homeless if you live in a car.
Definition, man.
Definitions changed.
Yeah.
We changed the way we label you as homeless.
Well, that's what California did with the theft. If you don't
yeah. So and
steal
then
so
all of a
much,
sudden
then-
their theft rates went down
wow, that's crazy.
because you can't report it.
Right.
Oh, and was it in LA or Chicago? They had to fire the police chief because she was lying about, they were
I don't know.
catching people with serious crimes, but putting lesser crimes just to keep the crime
The
rate
stats.
down, because the stats only included certain crimes. So,
Wow.
well, we can't have them down for murder. Just put assault or something. And I know that was an exaggeration. That wasn't true, but they were doing things like that.
Yeah. I can see it.
Well, and the murder they can't hide because there's a coroner's report and all that. It's a statistic. They can't just say he didn't really die. He went to school yesterday. I saw him. No,
But they can call it like
You can't-
manslaughter.
Nah.
They can give it another name.
you can't say somebody didn't
Yeah.
die from a bullet.
Yeah.
All of a sudden. So that didn't go down, but the other crimes did. Like,
Right.
okay, why does that make sense? It didn't. It didn't make sense at all.
Yeah. So how you define it.
So Pratt's surging still, and I think he's just starting. His commercials are brilliant. Everything's brilliant.
Yeah.
And he's just straight talking. It's no gimmicky. He wants to fight crime. And he had that with Bill Maher. Bill Maher was saying, well, what you need to get involved, you need to understand solar. Because he asked him a solar question. He says, I don't know anything about solar. Well, if you're in that job, solar is important. He says, no, it's not. I got homeless guys out there running naked around children's stuff. And I got needles. And you want me to talk about solar? I mean, we'll get the vice mayor to worry about solar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious.
Jeez.
And you know what Bill Maher did afterwards? He endorsed him.
I was gonna say, if you can stand up to Bill Maher, because that's what Bill Maher's whole brand is to attack people. He's been doing it
But-
50, 60
But
years.
a guy like Spencer Pratt's going to be his own man.
yeah,
He doesn't care if you're Bill Maher. He doesn't care who you are. He's going to be his own man. Where a lot of politicians, and I know Bass is the same, will change their verbiage and everything
Right.
depending on what show they're on.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton will change her accent.
yeah.
Start sounding like a Southern redneck. just to be on
Yeah.
a stage with Southern rednecks, Jasmine Crockett.
Well, and that goes back
all
to
this.
what I was saying before about Trump. People want somebody that's going to make a change.
And I want somebody that's real.
They're going to make something happen. They're going to.
I live in
step
AI. I don't need an AI guy.
But
So
yeah, this Pratt guy looks interesting. I'm obviously we're not city of LA. We can't vote for him, but
he said
he looks interesting, and I like that there's so many Republicans in California politics right now that are getting real attention.
Yeah.
That they never would have gotten before. People are taking notice that things are falling apart.
Yeah, and that's a good step. You got to notice there's a problem first.
And that goes back to what I was saying before. Sometimes it takes somebody doing something terrible in order for to open the door for a Trump or a Pratt to come in.
Now you got to remember, Bass is coming from a power position. She's the current mayor.
Right.
She has the support of Gavin Newsom, the governor, Kamala Harris, the vice president, as well as many other prominent senators and representatives within the state of California supporting her. And she couldn't get 50%.
Right.
She couldn't get 50%.
Exactly.
So that's damning. And the way I see that, if you can't get 50% in a primary, you're not going to get, that means half the people are looking for somebody else.
Yeah.
Half the people are still going to be looking for somebody else in the general. This is an uphill battle for her, like big time. And she's got to see it. And Spencer Pratt, he's focusing on fire recovery, street homelessness, crime, and all the issues that Bass sucks at.
Yeah.
And I remember during the debate, the one they had, they canceled the others because they look terrible in front with Spencer Pratt in there ripping them apart. Spencer Pratt says, well, our mayor's a liar. And the commentator said something, well, you're not allowed to call names. I'm not calling names. I'm just pointing out she lies.
Facts and facts.
Yeah, I mean, this is all factual stuff. I can show you. That's kind of cool. But he brought in God into this thing.
Okay.
Which was unusual. I mean, I didn't think he was a God-fearing guy. But he says, well, obviously God wanted 5 more months of me exposing the failures of our mayor. Did God want that? That's cool. That's what he thinks.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We're going to have to 5 more months. Well, he's right. I mean, he made this surge in popularity in a short order. I mean, less than a month.
Okay.
That he really just excelled. He was on fire for a month. Now he's got 5 months until the general. What else is going to be out there? I don't know. I mean, I know the Democrats have already tried to retaliate by doing their own AI generated deal, and they pointed out all the things that Spencer Pratt would do terrible, like he would want to hire more police officers.
Such a crazy idea.
He will not want. He doesn't want to pay medical for immigrants. Illegal immigrant. They don't say illegal, but he did all those, and I'm doing the checklist. Okay for that. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And is this against Pratt or for Pratt?
Yeah.
And they really lived in the bubble. And they thought that was a terrible thing to say about somebody, that you want to hire more police officers.
Well, and I think that's why things are shifting.
Yeah.
People, because if you say that to people that are having a hard time making their lives work, you want to pay medical for these people when I'm struggling, there's crime all over my neighborhood, and you want to have fewer police officers. When you start comparing what the Democrats are saying to how people are living, the people that are living it are starting to recognize that's not working for me. Yeah. And we have so many Republicans in California that are getting more attention, and this jungle fever, jungle voting system that they have is actually moving Republicans up. And everyone said, the Republicans are never going to get noticed in California with this jungle voting system, but we're moving up to the top, floating to the surface there. And I think the Democrats you have to be shocked. What is going on?
Yeah, all this stuff can be fixed. You got to have the right people at the top.
Yep.
You do it. And I compare, you want to compare mayors, look at Bass versus like Doug Nichols. Doug Nichols, I respect so much because he's so transparent.
Right.
And, during COVID, when Doug had the, according to statute or whatever, for the Constitution, the charter of the mayor, he could take charge because it was a declared emergency.
Right.
And just dictate what needs to happen. He said, no,
Right.
I'm going to have council vote.
There you go.
We're going to get everyone's opinion.
Right.
We're going to get together. That's a real leader.
That's a wise thing.
It is a wise thing because there was time. It wasn't like it was, on fire or we didn't have time to convene.
Right.
We had time. He convened and said, we're going to be transparent. We're going to be open about it.
Yep.
The opposite of what I see from a lot of people in power, and that's
if they have power, they use the power. Yeah.
Misuse it more.
Yeah. Misuse it. Yeah.
But I think Pratt's going to continue to catch fire.
I think so too.
And
I think he's going to be somebody.
I think it helps the nation.
Yeah.
It's resonating, and he's showing Republicans how to run.
Yep.
Be brutally honest.
Well,
be brutally open.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's interesting that this campaign is getting so much more attention than the governor campaign in California. But there's Republicans.
It's a very similar.
Yeah, the Republicans are floating to the top in the jungle primary. That's what they call it. They're floating to the top in the jungle primary for governor too.
And the jungle primary was set up to look, it's 2/3 Democrats, so every jungle primary we're going to have 2 Democrats top ticket. No Republican can ever win.
Yep,
that's the way it was. That's why it was designed.
And then they ruined their state.
Yeah, we destroyed it enough to where you guys are not going to go along with our plan. Is what I think. So, yeah, we California, and I see stuff on YouTube, all that. California's going red and all that. No, it's not going red,
they're getting a little bit.
It's not quite the lockdown that it was.
They're shifting to purple, I think.
They're shifting to something where
maybe lilac.
Lilac. The Graham Plattner up in Maine.
Okay.
He's our
Nazi
real
guy.
Nazi.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's been getting beat up.
He should be.
Well, because the truth is coming out. His background's coming out.
Yeah.
A background he's been trying to hide. By eliminating his post and stuff and wiping him out because he's had some problems in his past. Now we all have them,
right?
And quite often, Donald Trump has had him, and he's come forward and said, and talked about him, whatever. Graham won't. He continues to try to hide it. In fact, his wife has only been married 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. His wife sat down with the planning people for the campaign to talk about liabilities.
Right.
And during that time, she mentioned the texting he did, sexting to 6 women.
Oh.
So, and you do that in order to say, okay, we need to know about that. We can't be surprised, whatever. Well, one of the aides in that meeting is the one that spilled the beans, not the wife.
Okay.
Well, then Plattner is questioned with his wife standing there about it. No, that's all a lie. And she's just sitting there looking like stone-faced scared.
Because that's what makes
that's a bad image.
Yeah.
The image should be, that happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we got, I mean, it's not that it didn't happen because there's copies of it out there now.
Yeah.
He may have deleted it, but the internet lives forever.
Yeah.
That's what data centers do.
Another case of people not learning their lesson from history. The cover up is always worse.
It's always worse.
And that was the whole thing with what's his name, Nixon.
Yeah.
The cover up just makes it worse. This happened.
You just got to tell the truth. Look, I was
on.
single and stupid, so I thought if I sent a picture of myself only covered with a towel after I took a shower would be very appealing to women. So I sent it to 6 women. Just tell the truth.
Yeah.
I was stupid and I was wrong. I found out that they don't like that.
Lesson learned.
Who would have known? Yeah. Who would know? That wouldn't be cool.
His wife of 2 years. Can you imagine 2 years you've being jumped into a political campaign where you have to deal with things like this?
Who would have known?
That's a lot.
Now, because Plattner is starting to get some hits and his favorability rating is coming down. Now he's still in the lead on the Democrat side.
That's crazy.
He still leads on polls that go head to head with Susan Collins, who's be the Republican.
Okay.
Slight, but it's coming down. It's closing. The gap's closing. Well, one of his competitors on the Democrat side, the governor, Janet Mills, who suspended her campaign earlier this year when she saw how rocket ship Graham has been, because he's a straight talker. You know, he's a little bit like Spencer Pratt and very aggressive, straight to the point. It's just that he wasn't telling the truth.
Right.
You know, some of his stuff is falling apart, and some of his skeletons are coming out. Now, I know they're looking feverishly for speech. Well, Pratt's got to have them too. Well, apparently he doesn't have a Nazi tattoo. Yeah. So, and Graham is saying everything the Dems want. Like,
Right.
we're going to impeach Trump on day one, and we're going to tear down I don't know if he said tear down the ballroom, but a lot of others undo a lot of stuff that Trump has done, which is horrific. If you're
The only
like,
thing
why would you want to go into that?
They have nothing else to talk about.
Governor Janet Mills is reminding everybody that she says, and she did this on the first a couple days ago. She said, people have the impression that I withdrew or dropped out. I simply suspended active campaign. I'm still on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not helping Spencer. Graham Plattner either.
No.
Now that she says, I'm still active, and she's seeing like there's some daylight. Maybe I got a chance.
She's seeing the numbers shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just another nail in his coffin.
Yeah.
When the lady that was your biggest competitor dropped out, you accelerated, you shot up. Well, now that she's back, what happens? She's already reminding people, I'm still on the ballot. She didn't quit. Ballot will still show up.
And people that are at that level of politics, they know what they're doing.
Well,
she knows exactly what she's doing.
But she's undermining him in the general. She probably will not pass him in the primary because it's too close. I mean, today is the 4th?
When is their primary?
5 days.
In 5 days? It could happen.
That's pretty close.
It could
I
happen.
don't know.
If people have been starting to look at him saying, well, we have no other option, and then another option pops up, it could happen. It could shift dramatically.
Yeah.
I mean, here we are in Arizona talking about it. Imagine how many of them are talking about it in Maine.
We'll see. I find it very fascinating.
Yeah.
The way it's just going, and it seems to move so fast in so many different directions.
Yeah, if she can get a hold of the social media and really explode her messages,
now
it could have an impact.
Plattner's been the best at social media, and the left, I don't think, has captured it. I mean, they're caught in a bubble on was it Act Blue or something? Is that the social media that only goes to that bubble? In fact, if you're a Republican and start saying Republican stuff, they kick you out of it.
Really?
So it's only Dems talking to Dems, and so they're not living in reality.
Huh.
They don't even know. They don't. Not a lot of opposing viewpoint on that.
Sounds like a Democrat.
Yeah, we're only going to live in the bubble because nothing exists outside our planet.
Yeah,
and I don't know what the future of that is. I mean, they start fighting each other. That's who else is there to fight?
Exactly.
There isn't any Republican on there.
All right.
They got to see who's left, who's the furthest left, and they got to argue about that. But I don't know what's going to happen with Graham. I don't think he's going to be the center of Maine.
I don't.
The
I
odds,
hope not.
The odds are still in his favor. I mean, if you go on these betting sites and stuff, in fact, you may want to go bet against it. I think your odds would be good.
You think so? I hope so.
I mean, Susan Collins has won 3 times.
Okay.
All 3 times she was down in the polls going into the general election. She was down by 8, down by 8, down by 12.
Scrappy. She comes.
Yeah, and she's not my favorite. And she's a she doesn't back Trump on a lot of stuff. She's not there when you need her at times on the Republican big stuff like the Save America Act and stuff.
Well, and that might be her constituency that she's.
Yeah, and she's a frustration. A lot of people would like to see her gone. But if it comes down to Plattner or Collins, you're going to vote for
Collins,
right?
Yeah.
And not every Republican in Arizona was like that.
All right.
When Kari Lake won the bid for governor on the Republican ticket, many angry Republicans worked against her, and now we have Katie Hobbs.
Yeah.
How terrible is that?
Yeah. Well, we can.
That's
we know
so short-sighted.
Yeah.
That we did that. But they were like mad that my choice didn't win, so I'm going to attack Kari Lake.
And you can be disappointed that you didn't get the
Right.
one Republican that you
Yeah.
wanted, but you still need to
And you could say she's not the ideal Republican. I don't
look
care.
at any Republican.
She was very
gonna be
conservative in a lot of
better
all
than-
her values, all were lined up. Trump endorsed her.
Well, yeah, her what was the last campaign she had? Trump Lake.
Yeah.
You know, but in the small print said,
Yeah.
something, that he endorsed me.
Right.
But it made it look like
Like they were running
like they were
together,
running
which I
together.
didn't like that
Yeah,
sign.
I was like,
I thought that was
It's
misleading.
not cool.
Andy Biggs puts Trump's name on his. He says endorsed by Trump.
Trump's, yeah,
That's all it
Trump
says.
endorsed. Yeah,
Yeah, Trump endorsed.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Right.
Because it's true.
yeah, yeah. So Lake shot herself in the foot for a few things.
Yeah, but you know
that should be the.
But for us to say,
primary.
wow, that's crossed the line for me, I'm voting Democrat.
That should be a primary discussion.
Yeah.
Once she's the candidate for
She's
the
the candidate.
Republican Party,
Yeah.
any Republican is better than the Democrat.
But I have friends that didn't vote for her because I just don't like her. Well, then
I don't
not
care.
voting is
Right.
going to put a Democrat in office.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
But that's their control it.
And that that's one of the problems with the electoral system that we have.
Yeah.
Is we have people that that vote for the most bizarre reasons.
I got to talk about Medicaid in the state of Arizona for a minute.
Okay.
Like a lot of states, the federal government has been asking for records
Right.
and stuff, and they've cut off a lot of people until they can prove that you should be receiving Medicaid because
Right.
there's been fraud everywhere, as we know. It wasn't just in Minnesota, so it's everywhere. It's not here. So.
Okay.
Well, I got called yesterday by somebody that had a family member that was kicked off,
Okay.
and they were supposed to go get chemotherapy because they got cancer.
Oh, really?
And the doctors called and said, "Well, we can't do it now because your Medicaid's invalid. It's being kicked off." So they tried to get the Medicaid to reinstate them, and as everybody does. But there's such a backlog because now everybody has to be verified that they couldn't get to it right then. And this guy's, look, I got chemo coming, They ended up calling Andy Biggs,
Oh, really?
who had it turned on the next day.
There you go.
And that's a state function. It's not. I mean,
Right.
Andy Biggs right now is running for governor, but he's not a state representative. He's a federal representative. He's
Right.
in the House, but he knows people.
Yeah.
And he called and says, this guy needs help now. Work him in.
There
And
you
they
go.
did.
Good.
And they did the right thing. They worked it in and verified him. They didn't work it in and give it to him.
Right.
They verified that you are a real person.
Right.
And that's what's happening with Medicaid. You got a lot of people that aren't real people. And so they shut people off on Medicaid. And a huge number says, no, that's wrong. I'm a real person, and they have to get verified.
Right.
Many of them never show up. Many of them have the same address that goes at an empty lot.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going on with that
Yeah.
stuff?
Fake people don't complain. So
Fake people don't complain.
So we do need to clean the books
Yeah.
and find out who's legit and who actually qualifies and
Right.
and clear out all this fraud. There can be some difficulties during the
But
transition.
the way that's handled politically, the Democrats will say Trump is kicking people out of off their medical.
Right.
Okay. They don't say he's reducing fraud, that he's kicking off the people that don't exist,
Right.
that he's going after fraud and crimes. It's just like, if he walked out on water to pick up a hat and give it to a guy, they just say Trump can't swim. It's all about the framing.
That's funny.
So keep that in mind, because you're going to see a lot of it in the politics. You kicking innocent kids off of, you don't care about them, they're kicking them off Medicare, and all that, or Medicaid. Some people receiving Medicaid illegally.
Yeah.
Some people have been receiving Medicaid that don't exist.
Yeah.
And who knows who gets the checks, but somebody's cashing them. And Trump's got the guts to go after it.
Well, we've been seeing that for years with
but we're not doing anything.
What's the Social Security? You know, people somebody dies
Yeah.
and their family just keeps collecting up
Well,
Social
but if
Security
grandma's in the freezer in the basement, she's still a resident. No, it's illegal as hell.
Yeah.
Don't do that, and don't put grandma in a freezer.
No.
That's just rude. That's
But
not good.
you just kind of went real quick over that. Andy Biggs
Andy
came
Biggs
in
did it. Made it
and
happen.
stood up. Got things done. Just every time his name comes up, it's for something that's great.
He knows the system. He knows how to face. And look, Medicaid is a state responsibility.
Yep.
They're the ones that are supposed to catch the fraud. They're the ones that are supposed to verify everything. Now, a lot of blue states won't even send the government
The information.
information at all. So they have to rate them. They have to go in and check the addresses and check people, and they're arresting people.
And that might be where this guy from
Oh, and from Yuma,
Biomed came from.
we don't know.
Yeah,
It
I
could
don't know.
be. It sounds like he's done something big time bad with a $50
$50
million
million.
bond.
Yeah, that does get attention.
Yeah, that's not because of a parking ticket.
Yeah. And it's not because people say, oh, well, doctors are so wealthy. They have to make a living just like everyone else. People think doctors are just automatically
Rich.
wealthy and rich.
Well,
beyond
this guy may have
belief,
been.
but yeah, he might be.
We don't know.
Yeah, but I know plenty of doctors that they live a normal life. They have a house right down the block from other people. They're just
Oh,
they
Dr.
have-
Joe's just a normal guy.
Yeah.
I went to his house last 4th of July.
they're not flying. In
He set off
helicopters
fireworks
and-
like everybody else.
Yeah, there you go.
Legal ones. Trump says he's going to nominate the acting AG Todd Blanche. Probably a good move. He's
I don't
been
think
exposed
that's a
now for the last month,
surprise.
and he looks good.
He-
I mean,
he-
I like
he
what he's
stepped
saying. I
in,
like the way he's handling the
doing what
microphone.
he's
He's doing, he's another Trump appointee, no nonsense to the point, like Rubio and stuff. They just cut to the chase, and they're not going to put up with a bunch of crap. Like, here's what's really happening. I like it. I'm a big supporter.
Yeah, I wasn't. I just read that just now, but I
Yeah.
wasn't surprised. People have been expecting this to come down for a while. So
Yeah, and but he took over right after Pam Bondi was fired.
Mhm.
And I still like Pam Bondi. And I think Trump does too. It's just time to move on. There was some other.
well, and that's the nature of that level
Yeah.
of politics. Is things change from day to day, and one day this is the perfect person for the job. The next day, we need somebody else. So,
Now, when Todd was given the number 2 slot as an AG, and he was confirmed by the Senate, it was a long party line vote, 52-46. So I'm
Okay.
sure now he's got the big seat, the front seat, probably 52-46.
yeah, it's not going.
It's just ridiculous that.
And they're gonna put him in front of the hearing, and they're gonna ask ridiculous questions just to get some sound bites.
Yeah,
And everyone knows exactly what it's gonna do.
I know.
52-46 is gonna happen again.
It's just silly. It's become that.
It's a
It didn't used to
circus.
always. It didn't. It wasn't always like that.
No.
The president has a provocative to. He's allowed to pick whoever he
Prerogative.
wants. Prerogative. That's
Yeah.
it. Prerogative. I'm sorry. Thank you. That's why you're a school teacher. to put it in there who he wants. Now it has to be approved to make sure you don't get a Nazi or something. But
But they might have a Nazi in there doing the approval.
but it doesn't. And you should give him what he wants. But now it's does he have an R by his name or a D?
Right.
Well, of course, he's a Republican president. He's going to have Republican
Republican,
people, probably. Not necessarily, but probably.
It happens that they switch.
Yeah, Kennedy switched to Republican for that. But it seems like it's an automatic. Well, we got to oppose everything Trump says, thinks, or does. So if you want Todd Blanche, we hate him.
Oddly enough, though, Rubio got 100%.
Well, many,
It's
yes, he
crazy.
did. It was crazy. Well, and a lot of senators come back later and said, I regret voting for you. And you know what Rubio said? And that was at a hearing.
Uh-huh.
And I remember Rubio saying at the time, well, that just means I'm doing the right thing and I'm over the target, Good for Rubio. I mean, he's pretty strong.
Yeah. Oh, I saw something about it's like the Daily Show or something. They were showing clips of Rubio, and he keeps throwing out lines from old songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself and things like that. He's just throwing out all these old rap song lines and things like that. And they, they agreed with me. They thought it was funny. It's
Okay.
just
Even these last two days that he's been grilled by on ridiculous stuff, he just seems to have a smile on the face and great attitude.
Yeah. He's doing his job.
Yeah, he knows he's going to run into craziness.
If you know what you're saying is solid, you don't mind saying it.
Yeah. I went to the doctor yesterday. I got a clean bill of health.
Okay, good.
My cardiologist,
Yep.
they put a pacemaker in me
Mhm.
a few months ago, and I had some questions, and I have to talk to the technician, really, to the
they're the ones that get things done. Yeah,
technical advisors on it, and some things I didn't know. I didn't know that they want to check it twice a year anyway.
Okay.
The actual manufacturer to make sure that everything's fine. I guess they tie onto it electronically. They don't have to dig into my chest and hook up. They actually tie on to Bluetooth or something. It can make adjustments and do things. But today is the day that they're in town. They come in once a month.
Mm.
I'm going to be in Phoenix, which is unfortunate. So I have to do it next month, but I'm looking forward to it because I got a lot of questions. Like there's some stuff I want to do that's not recommended.
Okay.
With a pacemaker, remember when pacemakers first came out, there would be signs in restaurants that says, we have a microwave, you might have a heart attack or, I don't know what it would do. I'm like, well, how is that going to affect pacemaker? But it doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of that's the pacemakers are built differently, better, and hardened, and they're not microwaves like no big deal.
Stuff, yeah.
I can lean up next to the microwave; it's not going to hurt me, and I'm not going to try that.
Yeah, it's like why would you?
I'm not going to push it. But there's certain things I can't do, and one of them is there's a scale at my the office at my trainer, which a lot of hospitals have, that will send signals through your body that allow them to check body mass, fat mass, and all that stuff. And it comes down with some specific numbers on where you're at, which I'd like to continue that process. But on the website, it says not even recommended. Don't do that. But I want to. Now, I talked to the technician the day they put it in my chest. He came by the hospital, the waiting room while I was supposed to be in recovery. And I said, man, I got some questions for you, and one of them was just that. And he says, look, I know a few hundred guys that do that, he says, it is not recommended, but you can call the techs and talk to the techs regularly. I'm a representative. I mean, I know the equipment, but I'm not a technician to give you advice, but I can tell you, I know guys that do it.
Right.
And here's what happens with a pacemaker. If you set like near a magnet, it bypasses its programming and goes to a standard set programming.
Oh, okay.
So rather than a minimum 60 beats a minute, it would be 80 beats a minute if you fall into a magnet.
Okay.
And even with my pacemaker, I could still get an MRI with a big magnet and all that. They actually would put a magnet on me to put it into the safe safe mode. It's just kind of like a default safe mode.
Okay.
He says that would be the worst thing that can happen is it goes into safe mode, but it won't hurt the technology. There's nothing that would hurt the technology, but you need to talk to a rep. And I haven't done that yet. I was going to call him, but I was going to wait now. I'm going to wait now so I can talk to him face to face and say that. So I'll do it next week. But the worst thing that happens is my heart rate goes up to 80 instead of where it is, and then as soon as I let go, it goes right back to its programming mode. And now, the thing that I think they're caution about is that, there are pacemakers out there that have a defibrillator. When you say clear and you put those things on a chest, the guy bounces out. Yeah, you don't want to do that. But there are defibrillators built right into pacemakers.
That's crazy.
And that seems like insane. But a defibrillator in a pacemaker doesn't have to be as powerful as the paddles.
Right.
Because the paddles aren't in the heart. The pacemaker actually has wires inside the heart. So they could be like 1/5 the strength. And they got enough battery to do that a few times that they could just shock you, which would be scary. So I would imagine if you had a defibrillator, you don't want to screw around with that.
Right.
Like, what does safe mode mean with a defibrillator?
Oh, it's fine.
You don't care. You don't get that.
Well, the website, all those recommendations, that's a lot of those are the lawyer talking.
Well,
we don't want to get sued, so
exactly.
don't do this.
Exactly.
But then, like the technician said, well, I can't say do it, but
Yeah.
I know people that do. And if you do, he can talk about the facts. If you do, this is what happens. But it's your call. And medical questions are always up to the patient. It's your call. You can
I just want to make sure it can't hurt the equipment.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff.
But you're doing what you should. You ask the
I'm asking the
questions, and then you make your own decision, and that's fine.
And if I don't like the answer, whatever. And I found out some other things I asked questions about. I was taking blood thinners, Eliquis, which is the hottest blood thinner out there right now. It's very expensive. If you didn't have insurance, it'd be like the bottle for 3 months would be like $1,200. Yeah, man, it starts to get to be expensive.
Yeah,
for that kind of stuff. With insurance, it was down to like $240 for 3 months. So it's less than $100 a month, but still. Didn't want to take it. Plus, it has some side effects, like I don't know, not dangerous, but constipation, some other things.
Right.
I just felt a little listless with it. Didn't feel as on top of it. So I didn't want to keep taking it. So when my ablation worked, in other words, I don't have AFib anymore. AFib has been, at least for now, non-existent.
Good.
So, and the reason I take blood thinners is because AFib could cause a blood clot that could go to the brain, give you a stroke.
Okay.
That's serious business. You don't want to play with that.
Yes.
So you take the blood thinners. Well, my doc told me that because of the chart they have on whether you can get off off the blood thinners or not, you only need like 2 points. If there's 2 points against you, you stay on. And he says, Russ, you have 2 points. Out of 8. You got 2. And I said, well, what are the 2? One is that I'm old. Which I can't fix that. There's nothing I can do. Like if you're over 65, you get a point. Not that everybody over 65 has to take blood thinners.
But they got a point.
And then I got another point because I have a history of high blood pressure.
Right.
I can't fix that either.
Can't fix the history of it.
I can't fix the history.
No.
So he says, you got 2 points, so that means you're on Eliquis for life.
That means you're recommending Eliquis for life.
Well, I took it as a recommendation.
Yeah.
And we talked about that. And he didn't give me a lot of resistance, but legally, he can't tell me to get off of it. There's an ethics thing and all that.
Okay.
He can tell me the whole story.
Right.
About where it comes from, why it is, and all that.
Right.
But they won't tell me that I can.
Right.
So I had to make that decision to say I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
He said, okay.
and so many people think that what the doctors, they say, well, the doctor has me on this, so I have to take it. You don't have to. The patient makes the decision.
Yeah, the final decision is the patient.
The doc,
but I want to make an informed one, and I'm so grateful they're very informative.
There you go. You got a great doc. There's some docs that have the mentality. Well, I'm the doctor. I'm going to say what needs to happen. They better do it.
Right.
But the doc I've he's semi-retired. He's a mentor now for some of these residents that are around. So I get their residents. So they're following his same philosophy. Give the patient the information, answer their questions, do your recommendation.
Yeah.
And then whatever they show goes. And I love that. I feel so much more in control of my life.
Well, you should be. You should ask the right questions. And not a lot of people don't, though.
They don't.
They just do whatever you say, doc.
Yeah.
But he did tell me, he said, look, you're not the average 68-year-old. You're in the gym, you're active, you're working out, you're riding bicycles, you got a strong heart, you got all the things going, but it's up to you. I mean, legal, morally and ethically, I have to tell you the chart says you need to be on it.
Yeah. Great. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to go my own way.
And I take speed limit signs as a recommendation too.
Speaking of which,
what?
After I leave here today, I'm going to go pay a ticket because, it was a recommendation.
32nd Street.
that I didn't listen to. It was on the interstate. Actually.
Okay, interstate. Okay.
So the officer at he's like, well, there's not really anybody on the road. You're almost home. You're responsible. You were just going a little too fast. So he put it down at less than 10 miles over.
Okay.
I was more than 10 miles over, but he put it down at less.
They do
than
that.
10. Yeah, he was being nice. He said, "This is the cheapest ticket. The law says it's a $15 fine." I'm like, "Cool, awesome." Then I asked for the total.
Well, after you add all the cost of court costs and everything,
There, take a guess. How high do you think I'm going to have to pay?
$350.
Oh wow,
I want to nail you.
I was shocked. I don't remember the exact number.
It's over
It's
$200,
like
isn't it?
$246.85 or something like that.
Yeah, I knew it was.
I was like, how does a $15 because it's in the law? This is a $15 fine.
Yeah.
And then they were like, yeah, but whatever. We're gonna charge you this crazy amount.
Well, and a lot of that is the courts need money to pay for victims stuff and all that. So they said, well, we'll just add $20. We'll add 15. They add things to everybody that gets fined in order to pay for these other things.
Well, and that's not even the expense. When because I looked up the statute. I go straight to the laws, and it says it's $15 fine, but you also have surcharges for these other two laws. And so I looked those up. Those come up to a total of like 65%. I was like, okay, that's not too bad. But then there's other laws elsewhere that say people can the courts can charge the fee for being in open court, things like that. And the biggest chunk is $160 for everybody, no matter what you go in. Yeah. Just to have the building exist. And I was like, unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not cheap. And everyone be careful on 32nd Street. 32nd Street, for some reason, went from 45 to 35 in a big stretch. Right in front of the county fair.
Yeah, and in the if you continue 32nd all the way out to Fortuna, that last stretch right there went from 55 to 45 down to 40.
Okay.
Yeah,
and I don't really understand it. Once you get past all the businesses on 32nd Street, it should just be 45. There's not places to turn off except to the fair grounds in that one street. So I didn't understand why they took it to 35.
And they don't really monitor it because I used to take that road every day.
Well, I'm telling you, they're monitoring now. People are getting tickets like crazy.
Well, maybe because when that used to be the road I would take when I was teaching at Kofa. I would take it every morning, and people are doing 70s.
Yeah,
flying straight down that road because there's nothing on that road.
I'd be a little over 45, and I get past like I'm not driving very well.
Yeah,
and now it's 35.
That's crazy.
It just seems like forever now.
Yeah,
like I'm going to be on this road all day. It's only a mile, but it just, but man, my daughter got a ticket.
Did she?
Yeah. She deserved it.
She deserved it. How fast was she going?
I don't know. She was over 35.
You deserve it.
Yeah. And, and they don't get everybody. You don't have to.
Right.
Everybody says, well, I was passed by people and I was only doing 40. Oh, thanks for the admission. I'm sure they write that down. Only admitted to 40.
They do. I've challenged tickets enough that they will say, "Oh, he said such and such." Yep.
Yeah, I did.
That helped me once. I was
careful.
I was going up against a ticket for 2 counts of over 100 miles an hour, and I admitted when he pulled me over I was doing 80. And he brought it up. The suspect said he was going 80. So that's what the judge said it at. They couldn't prove that I was doing 100, but you said you were doing 80. So we'll put it at 80.
Yeah.
Saved me like $500. I was like, okay, cool.
Well, and I think most of the time, the officers are out there to help you be safe.
They are.
And help you do right things. And they're doing their job.
Yeah. And
if they get somebody sensible, that's, they're going to be sensible back to them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I got pulled over years ago, I don't know, a decade ago or so. I was driving a 2002 Mustang convertible. I had bought it so I could teach my kids to drive stick shift.
Okay.
But then I kept it because I like driving it.
It's a Mustang.
It wasn't a powerful one. It was just a run of the mill, but it was a fun car with convertible top down and all that stuff. And I was speeding. I wasn't going that fast. I mean, I wasn't speeding crazy. I was just over the speed limit. And I got pulled over. And the cop says, "Oh no, I'm going to hear about this on the radio. Yeah, I'm going to talk about you." I said, "Okay. Yeah, I don't care." And but I was speeding.
Yeah.
And he told me I was, and I said, "No, I probably was,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't fight it. If I was, I was." And he gave me a ticket, wasting refined, I mean,
Waste of a finite resource. That's what I
finite
got,
resources. Yeah. That's
Yep.
what you got too?
Yep. Yep. As long as you're not
So-
more than 9 miles. 10
Yeah.
miles
So
away.
I took it in to pay it, and the clerk says, "Wow, he really liked you." How much? It was $180 at the time or something. I
Yeah.
said, he didn't like me that much, He said, "No, this they won't go against your license, it
Right,
won't go against your points and all that stuff." They're not that common,
Yeah. The officer has to like you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that you're not a threat, that you're
Right.
not a habitual.
Yeah.
That
And people talk about
they have some
police
leeway.
and so on, but if an officer pulls you over and you're nice and polite and respectful,
Act like a human being.
yeah, treat them like people. I've had conversations with them at the just about totally unrelated topics. We're just hanging out talking.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
I'm gonna
all
give you
while
a
he's
wa-
putting
I'm
handcuffs
going to
on
give you a warning, or I'll give you
hey, look,
waste of finite resources. Or something
and there's
like
no
that.
guarantee in
Cool.
life. He could be having
No.
a bad day and doesn't like the color of your sneakers.
I've gotten actual tickets before, even with a nice, polite conversation.
Sure.
Sometimes I get an
Sure.
actual ticket.
Absolutely. They
But
do their
that's
job.
fine. I earned it. I've never been, given a ticket for something I didn't actually do. So I'm okay with that. I did it. I got caught. Cost of doing business. But
Yeah, the
a
best
lot of
way to
times
do
they
is
just
don't speed.
Is it though?
That is, yes.
To not speed.
That's what they tell me.
Every time I drive. That just seems like a lot.
I joke about it. I say, it's a suggestion, but
Yes, legally, we got to say,
yeah,
all
it's
of the law, but
it's just a suggestion. Whatever. All right, cover this. Oh,
what do we got?
Al Green.
Al Green?
Yeah, not the singer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Al
That's what
Green,
came to my
the
mind.
representative. He's a contentious old man from Texas. Just hates the president. Tried to impeach him many, many times.
From Texas?
Texas.
Wow.
Texas has some Democrats.
A couple of them, apparently.
Yeah, a few of them. But he didn't get reelected. I mean, he lost his primary because they redistrict Texas.
Now you can say whatever you want.
Crockett and Green both out.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, he was yelling at Mullen. Let me see. Mark Wayne Mullen, Homeland Security Secretary.
Mhm.
Tell him he's a racist. And Green's 80 years old, by the way.
Okay. He's the grumpy old man.
He's
saying, "Get off my
experience. He's got
lawn."
experience. He spearheaded at least 6 different impeachment efforts, calling on other Democrats to be more visibly resist the president's agenda. Like, we're not doing enough.
Yeah. How can they?
How can you do it more?
Yeah.
And he was removed 2 times from a State of the Union address for displaying a sign called reading "Black people aren't apes,"
Ah.
which I'm sure that's a correct statement. Why would you do that?
Well, it has to be from when that video came out with the Obamas.
I don't remember.
How do you not remember that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was a whole thing about I think it had to do with like Medicare or something or the Obamacare,
Uh-huh.
and at the end it showed a couple monkeys going around with the Obama's faces on them.
Oh my!
How do you not remember?
I
that?
didn't see that. That would be rude.
Yeah, well, I looked for it everywhere. I couldn't find the actual video.
Okay.
But all you could find is apparently the offensive. We're not going to put the video on because it's offensive, but we're going to show you the most offensive part of it.
Just a picture or something.
Yeah, but
I can't take that kind of offense.
if you read the transcript, it wasn't a race issue that they put the faces on monkeys. It was monkeys are silly and ridiculous.
Right.
They could have put our faces on
Right.
because we're silly and ridiculous.
Well, then you're not
But
called
because-
a racist if it was ours.
right?
I know.
Yeah. So, but
There's a sensitivity that should be known, though.
I promise you that's what that
Maybe.
those signs were from.
Well, he continued to ask Musk after he was silenced. They told him to, the chairman said, "Stop it." Mullen continued the congressman tried to ask the Republican chair to force Mullen's compliance, reclaiming my time. It's the whole time when Mullen tries to talk, and like you ask him a question, they start to answer, and they say, "That's my time. You're not allowed to talk." And he said, "Ask," and he asked him to shut up. "It's my time. Tell him to shut up." That's the old guy saying, "Get off my lawn." Benny Johnson, political commentator.
No,
does a lot of stuff. Said this is a modern Democrat party in one clip. Green's response: "Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. No respect, no argument, no facts, no substance. Just shut up and temper tantrum. This is all they have left." I think that's a great summation.
You would expect more from an 80-year-old Democrat because he came from the times when there were actually some reasonable people in the Democratic Party, but maybe he's just old.
I don't know. But he's arguing with the chairman and everything else. He won't be silenced, and he has to be taken out.
Well, he has been taken out.
Of course, that's what he likes to do, man.
He lost his primary.
Shows well, that too.
Boom.
But he gets escorted out of State of the Union and all that stuff. Just like he's part of that. I've got my First Amendment rights to be disruptive.
Right.
I don't think that's what it's all about. Those First Amendment rights.
It is a right.
Well, to be disruptive, get you thrown if you don't mind being thrown out.
Yeah. Well, there's consequences.
Yeah, it's not a right. It's no one can stop you from being stupid. Here's the price. There's a price to pay. I didn't talk anything about Iran today, but we'll get to a little bit of it. Kuwait had an airport damage the other day during the ceasefire. I love these ceasefires because missiles are flying all over the place with the ceasefire.
I did ceasefire right after I fired. I stopped.
It. Well, and they get into explain that, but Kuwait had a damaged airport, killing one person, injuring more than 60.
Wow.
From that missile attack coming from Iran. And the Revolutionary Guard blames it on the United States.
Of course they do.
They say the interceptor missiles, it failed to hit their target. You guys should have had better missiles to knock down. That's the reason.
I wouldn't have hit you if you had stopped me.
That's the reason, yeah. The United States says that the Iranian drones deliberately targeted the airport as a video appears to expose the Iranian. I mean, they showed the tracking. It wasn't intercepted, by us. And or we didn't even. I don't know. There wasn't anything fired at it for some reason. And it wasn't aimed at the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters. And that's what Iran claimed after the missile was launched. They said we destroyed the United States command center at Kuwait. Wasn't even targeted. It hit the airport at Kuwait. They must have fired the wrong missile. Maybe that one was programmed to go.
I don't know.
Who knows? Well, the sitcom said that they responded with a new round of defense strikes. Now everything's labeled as, you fire at me, I'm going to defend myself, and they strike they target the launchers in southern Iraq, targeting missile launch sites and Iranian boats, and that's all defense. That's not
right.
It's not a war.
Nope.
And anybody preparing to lay mines and all that kind of stuff. So they did that. And Kuwait, I mean, Iran right now is just remarkably vocal about how they're winning.
Well, in a sense, they're stalling, and that is a win for them.
Yeah, it's a low bar.
Yeah.
If we survive another day, we're winning.
If they survive to the general.
Well, they think
that's what they figure.
Politically, the United States will stop Trump politically because they just don't want to be involved.
Right.
Well, there was just a vote to withdraw troops from the area and stop military force against Iran. They had that in the House, and it passed 215 to 208.
Okay.
All Democrats voted. Of course, it's just very political. All Democrats voted to stop the things that are going on in the Gulf, and 4 Republicans. Representative Thomas Massey, who hates Trump right now. Massey just lost. So anything I can do to trip you up, let me know. Warren Davis, Republican out of Ohio. Brian Fitzpatrick, Republican out of Pennsylvania, and Tom Baer, Republican out of Michigan. They all 4 of them. Of course, that means 4 more votes for the one side, 4 less for the other. So that's where you get 8.
8 number swing.
Yeah. But the president's not going to sign it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a show. It's all showboating. Iran progress could come. Well, Trump says that over the weekend, potentially, back to war, maybe. He says Wednesday there could be progress in negotiations with Iran as soon as this weekend, as the administration faces pressure to bring down fuel prices. Trump doesn't say that.
Right.
Trump doesn't say, well, because of the election, I got to do it. He says, I got all the time I need.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Well, and I think that's something the Iranians don't understand about Trump. Because we've speculated they're just stalling till the general, and then if he loses the general, then somebody else will take over. And if Trump, if the Republicans lose the general, then Trump will have nothing to lose. You're like, all right, fine. I'm just going to dig in deeper. There's just
I don't know what happens. I don't know.
And even if if we lose the midterms and the Democrats impeach Trump and get him out of office, Vance takes over. They just.
I don't know how long it takes to impeach, but I would imagine if they take the House, within 24 hours.
Yeah. It wouldn't be till January till they get seated anyway.
I know.
So the Iranians, I think, if they're trying to stall, that's a bad call. They just need to finish this, and I've been saying it, for a while now. Just get in, because even if they make an agreement, we're not going to trust them to back up the agreement anyway. Just get in there and let's just get this.
Impeachment's become a political thing only. A political thing only for impeachment. The Republicans never impeached Biden, and they could have.
Yeah, they should have.
And Biden was terrible.
Yeah.
But impeachment was supposed to be for high crimes.
Well, and they asked one of the Supreme Court justices once, like 40, 50 years ago, what is a high crime and misdemeanor? He says, whatever the House says it is.
Right.
No, I think it was Tip O'Neill. So one of the speakers of the House, whatever the House says it is.
That's right.
And so you can impeach for
anything.
anything.
Democrats think that Trump is a high crime and misdemeanor to show up to work for him. But Trump says something might happen this weekend. Trump says we could go another 2 or 3 weeks and just wipe everybody out. I'd rather not do that. Very easy to do.
No, please do that. Let's just be done with this.
A lot of people have that attitude. A lot of people say that regularly. Tired of talking about it, just wipe it out.
Yeah, let's just get done.
He says they want to do it, but if we can get something done in writing, which will accomplish the same thing without killing everybody, I'd like to do that. Trump's very much against killing everybody.
Yeah,
he is.
We can't trust anything that they write down.
Yeah, but
they have created a scenario in which the only way we can know that this is done is by.
But here's what I think.
Taking them out.
Here's what Trump is trying to do. He's building a coalition of neighbors that are going to enforce this thing, not the United States, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia.
I agree. That's a great idea.
I think it is. I think it's.
I just don't.
It's aggressive. It's amazing. If he makes it happen, it's the best case scenario.
Yeah, he did it with Gaza. He did a great job in Gaza. If we can pull this off, then great.
And let it be enforced.
I'm just frustrated while I'm waiting.
Let it be enforced by all the players in that region, and they're powerful enough to do it because they've really, Iran has really had it handed to them militarily.
And I like what Trump is asking for. Open up the Strait of Hormuz. Forever. There's no reason you should think you have control over it.
But most everybody in the world agrees to that.
Yeah. Get rid of, give up your enriched uranium. Nobody wants you to have that. And then we can talk. It's 2 things.
It's pretty easy.
That's really it.
But they're going to hang on to it. They think and they say that it's a national treasure. Our missiles and uranium are the reason we are even negotiating now. If we didn't have those, you wouldn't negotiate with us.
That's not true.
Of course, but to them it is.
Yeah.
They think that gives them power. Actually, it's got them destroyed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Even I can see that's not true.
Yeah. There's an Israeli-Lebanon ceasefire right now.
Okay. How long those last?
At least for a day or 2.
Yeah.
And even says that could go another 2 or 3 weeks. Trump does.
Yeah, people are, the
Yeah.
who's over there? Hezbollah
Yeah.
blaming Trump that the Israelis are shooting at him. That's not Trump.
Oh,
That's the Israelis.
a lot of crazy goes on.
Yeah.
For real. It's amazing. Let me see.
It really bothers me. You have all these stacks with really cool headlines, and we don't get to them all.
I
Stop
know.
doing that.
I know.
You tease me.
But some of it I didn't want to do. I got that prerogative.
Yeah, it's your fault, whatever.
A blue state governor, Mickey Sherrill from New Jersey. I don't know what exit. And this happens. There was a big controversy about Delaney Hall, which is where ICE agents are working and all that stuff.
Mhm.
She is blaming out-of-state agitators for unrest outside New York's Delaney Hall Detention Center, and pointed to the limited police force around the site. Now, she's one of those governors, sanctuary city, and all that. Doesn't like ICE. Wants ICE to go out, and then so these agitators love those sanctuary states, not just city states, because they can go in and I guess there's no holds barred attacking whatever they want to attack. You see the videos, they're not protesting.
She's blaming out-of-state agitators?
Yeah, but now because people are starting to hold feet to the fire and say, look, you're not doing your job keeping the streets safe.
Okay.
And she's saying it's out-of-state agitators. Well, people didn't fail to see the hypocrisy that you're a sanctuary city for out-of-state people.
So you're inviting them in and then complaining about it.
But yet you're smart enough to see it. They're the real issue.
Right.
But you're not doing anything about it. I think that's a great thing to point out. But they did call the state police in finally. Once it started getting on film and everything, the agitators running amok. And what happens when the agitators run amok and they start blocking ICE vehicles and all that, ICE has got to bring in other Homeland Security people to do police work.
Yep.
And then they complain, well, you got too many. Well, and they did the same thing for a long time in Minneapolis. Well, and the only way they got the ICE people out, the excess people out, was Minneapolis started using the police force to do police work.
Yep.
They still call themselves a sanctuary city, but they're doing police work.
Good.
Yeah.
Call it what you will.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But not everyone's gotten on to that. And that's how you stop it. And Tom Homan is out there pointing all these things out, talking about if you want peace, do your job.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we got to bring people in.
And it just, how often is this going to come up before people realize it? California is ruining themselves, so the Republicans are coming up. Minneapolis was ruining itself, so they started doing what the Republicans said to do in the first place: use the police force. Everywhere the left and liberals and all these woke people are screaming, for this, that, or the other. Things are falling apart, and people are realizing that's not working. Why don't they realize this ain't working? And
because they're trapped into a political corner. And political corner, they've said we're sanctuary city, and their base wants sanctuary city, and their base doesn't like feds, so they go stupid to support.
I don't know if it's the base anymore. I think it's the leadership that has
definitely the leadership
has put themselves. This is the hill I'm standing on, and you're going to die on that hill because people aren't supporting.
But Governor Mickey comes out with truth and says. She says
it's the outside agitators.
5 of 6 people arrested Friday were from Pennsylvania and New York. And they're going like, yeah, the people use sanctuary.
Yeah.
Right? They'll come in. Senator Cory Burkey pointed it out in last November, called out Shell for trying to take credit for fixing a problem that should not have existed to begin with.
Yeah.
She creates the problem.
But if you fix the problem, you fix the problem. As far as people are concerned, they don't look at who created the problem in the first place.
Alex Zidane, I don't know him, but he's a investigative journalist. Said, Governor Sherrill, you are an arsonist complaining about the fire you helped start. Delaney Hall is under siege. And that's right. And we see it on the news. We finally got one. And I think the left likes that on the news, that people that are agitated towards ICE agents, and these ICE agents are yelling, I'm going to figure out who you are, and I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to kill your family. Now that guy, they finally caught him.
Good.
Because that's even a crime.
Yeah.
To do those things, they go to a federal officer and tell him you're going to kill him and his family.
But even with that example out there, people, say, wonder, well, why do they have to have masks on? Because you got people like this guy.
That's exactly why.
You got, and you got people that are smarter than this guy that aren't announcing their intentions, that are just looking for an opportunity to take out ICE agents and their families. And, I know people in the Department of Homeland Security, ICE, Border Patrol, things like that. And they're not trying to cover up their faces so they can be villains. They're covering up their faces to protect their family members.
Right.
And I don't understand why that's confusing to other people. It makes no sense.
You got people in Congress trying to pass laws that you can't cover your face.
Right.
If you're an ICE agent, they don't say about SWAT teams and police forces and all that, and sheriffs that have an opportunity to do that when they're handling bad guys.
Right.
ICE handles bad guys every day.
Yeah.
That's their focus. That's their target, is they go out after the criminals, the criminals, because there's so many of them now, thanks to Biden and company. We got to get them off the streets. But it's starting to look like the real news is coming out.
You can't hide it forever unless you're Putin.
But it makes me well, he's hiding himself.
He's trying to hide it.
Hides in the he's in the basement with Biden. I don't know if you see Biden lately. There was a picture, a visual of him the other day. Jill Biden was on stage with Whoopi Goldberg, promoting her new book.
Okay.
And Joe couldn't help himself. He was in the audience, but he walks up to the stage. Stage is above him, but he screams at Jill, "Who do you love?" or something. "Who do you love most of all?" Well, Jill was a little annoyed. I mean, it's about her at this point.
Yeah.
Joe can't stop it, and he looks older, if that's possible, and he could.
He got
who do you
those
love?
4 years.
Who do you love most, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Jill looks exasperated a little bit, like, oh man, the old man found me. He's causing a problem. He says, "Whoopi, I love Whoopi." It's on stage. He looks so lost and dejected. He stood there like a child until Jill said, "Okay, I love you. Okay, I love you the most, dear."
She does not look as ancient as him. Is there an age difference? Or
she was the babysitter for the family.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
She's a doctor.
Well, now she is. But I mean, she's
How
younger
long
than
ago?
Joe. When Joe was married to his first wife.
And since then, she became a doctor?
Yeah, a doctor,
Wow.
a doctor of education or something, not a medical doctor.
I always thought she was a medical doctor.
No,
Oh.
she insists that her title be used.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't
I
want
don't
her,
like those kinds.
you don't want her to treat a heart attack.
But he looks ancient anyway. But then standing next to his wife,
She's quite a bit younger. And I don't know the difference,
Really?
but probably 20 years at least.
wow.
I got to go, man. I'm out of time.
Gosh,
I know
we
you
do
were
that
late
all the
and all that.
time.
We'd like to stay late, but thanks, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow.
week.
I'm on my way to Phoenix. Long day. I'll be back tomorrow.
All right.